you guys are having trouble with my audio?
I can hear you loud and clear, but there's other noise coming in with you.
Yeah, static.
Static? Yeah, how's that? Is it, you can still hear it?
Yes.
All right, 1 second. Let me try to get in through my phone.
I'm hoping that I won't have difficulty. I haven't gotten a confirmation, but I'm supposed to have a Zoom rehearsal starting at 6:30 for a play I'm going to be doing in November. We're doing Mary Wives of Windsor on stage. We have to leave this a few minutes early if we're getting too close to 6:30.
And then we better start. Okay. Okay, I'm in on my... Ready? Can you hear me now?
We've still got it down, but you have two screens, Vincent. Maybe you need to stop. There we go.
How about now?
Now it's fine.
Oh, wow. Yes. Perfect.
Okay, I'm in with my phone. Turn my fan on now. Okay. Okay, well, thanks everybody for coming. Yes, thanks for being so patient with our hiatus. And we will be unfortunately short. Brennan has told me she thinks she has COVID, so she will not be here.
Ooh.
So we're gonna play it by ear. I'm gonna read. I'll just announce who's gonna read for Regan or Goneril, or Regan or Edgar, before we start each scene. Actually, let me see if we're recording this. Again, this is on my phone, so I'm not sure now.
Are you recording to a cloud?
There we go.
A cloud.
Recording in progress.
Okay, now this says recording in progress, but since I'm on my phone, I assume it's being recorded on cloud. And if not, we'll maybe do it over again. Okay, everybody knows everybody, right?
Yes.
No need for introductions. Let me see if I can get a gallery view on my phone here.
Brandon, how do you know Paul Schumann? I mean, Brandon Mona, I'm sorry. Mona?
Sure. Okay, I can't get a gallery view. At least I don't know how to get a gallery. Okay, so we'll try one more time. And we will take a break after Act 3. So
Okay.
Here goes. Unless anybody have anything they'd like to say? Okay, here we go. King Lear by William Shakespeare. Act 1, Scene 1. Enter Kent, Gloucester, and Edmund.
I thought the king had more affected the Duke of Albany than Cornwall.
It always seems so to us, but now in the division of the kingdom it appears not. Which of the dukes he values most? For equalities are so weighted that curiosity in neither can make choice of either's moiety.
Is not this your son, my lord?
His breeding, sir, hath been at my charge. I have so often blushed to acknowledge him that now I am brazen to it.
I cannot conceive you.
Sir, this young fellow's mother could, whereby she grew round wombed, and had indeed, sir, a son for her cradle ere she had a husband for her bed. Do you smell a fault?
I cannot wish the fault undone, the issue of it being so proper.
But I have a son, sir, by order of law, some a year elder than this, who yet is no dearer in my account. Though this knave came something saucily to the world before he was sent for, yet was his mother fair. There was good sporting at his making, and the whoreson must be acknowledged. Do you know this noble gentleman, Edmund?
No, my lord?
My lord of Kent. Remember him hereafter as my honorable friend.
My services to your lordship.
I must love you, soon to know you better.
Sir, I shall study deserving.
He hath been out 9 years, and away he shall again. Ah, the king is coming.
Enter Lear, Cornwall, Albany, Goneril, Regan, Cordelia, and attendants.
Attend the lords of France and Burgundy, Gloucester.
I shall, my lord.
He exits.
Meantime, we shall express our darker purpose. Give me the map there. Know that we have divided in 3 our kingdom, and 'tis our fast intent to shake all cares and business from our age, conferring them on younger strengths when we unburden fraud for debt. Our son of Cornwall and you, our no less loving son of Albany, we have this hour a constant will to publish our daughter several dowers, that future strife may be prevented now. The two great princes, France and Burgundy, great rivals in our youngest daughter's love, long in our court have made their amorous sojourn, and here ought to be hence. Tell me, my daughter, since now we will divest us both of rule, interest of territory, cares of state, which of you shall say doth love us most? If we our largest bounty may extend where nature does with merit challenge, Goneril, our eldest born, speak first.
Sir, I love you more than word can wield the matter, dearer than eyesight, space, and liberty, beyond what can be valued, rich or rare, less than life, with grace, health, beauty, honor, as much as child e'er loved or father found, a love that makes breath poor and speech unable, beyond all manner of so much I love you.
What shall Cordelia speak? Love, and be silent.
Of all these bounds, even from this line to this, with shadowy forest and with champaigns rich, with plenteous rivers and wide-skirted meads, we make thee lady, to thine and Albany's issue be perpetual. What says our second daughter, our dearest Regan, wife of Cornwall? Speak.
I am made of that self-metal as my sister, and prize me at her worth. In my true heart, I find he names my very deed of love, only she comes too short, that I profess myself an enemy to all other joys, which the most precious square of sense possesses, and find I am alone facilitate in your dear highness's love.
Then poor Cordelia, and yet not so, since I am sure my love's more ponderous than my tongue.
To thee and thine hereditary ever remain this ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure than that conferred on Goneril. Now our joy, although the last and least, to whose young love the vines of France and milk of Burgundy strive to be interest, what can you say to draw a third more opulent than your sisters? Speak.
Nothing, my lord?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing will come of nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, no more nor less.
How now, Cordelia? Mend your speech a little, lest it may mar your fortune.
Good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back, are as right fit. Obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands, if they say they love you all? Haply when I shall wed, that lord whose hand must take my plight shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure, I shall never marry like my sisters, to love my father all.
But goes thy heart with this?
Ay, my good lord,
So young and so untender?
so young, my lord, and true.
Let it be so. Thy truth then be thy dower. For by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mysteries of Akat and the night, by all the operations of the oars from whom we do exist and cease to be, here I disclaim all my paternal care, propinquity and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart and me hold thee from this forever. The barbarous Scythian, or he that makes his generation message to gorge his appetite, shall to my bosom be as well neighbored, pitied, and relieved as thou my sometime daughter.
Good my liege.
Peace, Kent, come not between the dragon and his wrath. I loved her most, and thought to set my rest on her kind nursery. Hence, and avoid thy sight. So be my grave my peace, as here I give her father's heart from her. Call France, who stirs. Call Burgundy, Cornwall, and Albany. With my two daughters, thou'st digest this third. Let pride, which she calls plainness, marry her. I do invent you jointly with my power, preeminence, and all the large effects that troop with majesty. Ourself by monthly course, with reservation of 100 nights, be you to be sustained, shall our abode make with you by due term. Only we shall retain the name and all the addition to our king. The sway, revenue, execution of the rest beloved sons be yours, which to confirm this coronet part between you.
Royal Lear, whom I have honored as my king, loved as my father, as my master followed, as my great patron thought on in my prayers.
The bow is bent and drawn, make from the shaft.
Let it fall rather, though the fork invade the region of my heart. Be Kent unmannerly when Lear is mad. What wilt thou do, old man? Think'st thou that duty shall have dread to speak when power to flattery bows? To plainness honor's bound when majesty stoops to folly. Reverse thy doom, and in thy best consideration check this hideous rashness. Answer my life, my judgment. Thy youngest daughter does not love thee least, nor are these empty-hearted, whose low sound reverbs no hollowness.
Kent, on thy life, no more.
My life I never held out but as a pawn to wage against thy enemies, nor fear to lose it, thy safety being the motive.
Out of my sight.
See better, Lear, and let me still remain the true blank of thine eye.
Thou by Apollo.
Not by Apollo, king, thou swearest to gods in vain.
O vassal miscreant.
Yes, sir, forbear.
Do, kill thy physician, and the fee bestow upon the foul disease. Revoke thy doom, or whilst I can vent clamor from my throat, I'll tell thee thou dost evil.
Hear me, recreant. On thine allegiance, hear me. That thou hast sought to make us break our vows, which we durst never yet, and with strained pride to come between our sentence and our power, which nor our nature nor our place can bear, our potency made good, take thy reward. 5 days we do allot thee for provision to shield thee from the disasters of the world. And on the 6th to turn thy hatred back upon our kingdom. If on the 10th day following thy banished trunk be found in our dominions, the moment is thy death. Away by Jupiter that shall not be revoked.
Fare thee well, king. Sith thus thou wilt appear, freedom lives hence, and banishment is here. The gods to their dear shelter take thee, maid, that justly thinks, and hast most rightly said. And you, large speeches may your deeds approve, that good effects may spring from words of love. Thus Kent, O princes, bids you all adieu. He'll shape his old course in a country new.
He exits. Flourish, enter Gloucester and France and Burgundy in attendance.
Here is France and Burgundy, my noble lord.
My Lord of Burgundy, we shall first address toward you, who with this king hath rivaled for our daughter. What in the least will you require in present dower with her, or cease your quest of love?
Most royal majesty, I crave no more than hath your highness offered, nor will you tender less.
Right, noble Burgundy, when she was dear to us, we did hold her so. But now her price is fallen. Sir, there she stands. If aught within that little seeming substance, or all of it, with our pleasure, peace, and nothing more, may fitly like your grace, she's there, and she is yours.
I know no answer.
Will you, with those infirmities she owes, unfriended, do adopt to our hate, dowered with our curse and strangered with our oath, take her or leave her?
Pardon me, royal sir, election makes not up in such conditions.
Then leave her, sir. For by the power that made me, I tell you all her wealth. For you, great king, I would not from your love make such a stray to match you where I hate. Therefore beseech you to vert your liking a more worthier way than on a wretch whose nature is ashamed almost to acknowledge hers.
And this is most strange, that she that even but now was your best object, the argument of your praise, balm of your age, most best, most dearest, should in this trice of time commit a thing so monstrous to dismantle so many folds of favor. Sure, her offense must be of such unnatural degree that monsters it, or your forevouched affection fallen to taint, which to believe of her must be a faith that reason without miracle could never plant in me.
I yet beseech your majesty, if for I want that glib and oily art to speak and purpose not, since what I well intend I'll do before I speak, that you make known it is no vicious plot, murder, or foulness, no unchaste action or dishonored step that hath deprived me of your grace and favor, for even for want of that, for which I am richer, a still soliciting eye and such a tongue that I am glad I have not, though not to have it hath lost me in your liking.
Better thou hast been born that not to have pleased me better.
Is it but this? A tardiness in nature which often leaves the history unspoke that it intends to do? My lord of Burgundy, what say you to the lady? Love's not love when it is mingled with regards that stands aloof from the entire point. Will you have her? She is herself a dowry.
Royal king, I give but that portion which yourself proposed, and here I take Cordelia by the hand, Duchess of Burgundy.
Nothing. I have sworn. I am firm.
I am sorry then. You have so lost a father that you must lose a husband.
Peace be with you, Burgundy. Since that respect and fortunes are his love, I shall not be his wife.
Fairest Cordelia, that art most rich, being poor, most choice forsaken, and most loved despised, thee and thy virtues here I seize upon. Be it lawful I take up what's cast away. Gods, gods, 'tis strange that from their coldest neglect my love should kindle to inflamed respect. Thy dowerless daughter, king, thrown to my chance, is queen of us, of ours, and our fair France. Not at all the dukes of waterish Burgundy can buy this unprized precious maid of me. Bid them farewell, Cordelia, though unkind, thou losest here, a better where to find.
Thou hast her, friend. Let it be thine, for we have no such daughter, nor shall ever see that face of hers again. Therefore be gone, without our grace, our love, our benison.
Laura Shaw, but France, Cordelia, Goneril, and Regan exit.
Bid farewell to your sisters.
The jewels of our father with washed eyes, Cordelia leaves you. I know you what you are, and like a sister am most loath to call your faults as they are named. Love well our father. To your professed bosoms I commit him, but yet, alas, did I within his grace, I would prefer him to a better place. So farewell to you both.
Prescribe not us our duty.
Let your study be to content your lord, who hath received you at fortune's alms. You have obedience scanted, and well are worth the want that you have wanted.
Time shall unfold what plighted cunning hides, who covers false at last with shame derides. Well may you prosper.
Grandson Cordelia exit.
Sister, it is not little I have to say of what most nearly appertains to us both. I think our father will hence tonight.
That's most certain, and with you next month with us.
You see how full of changes his age is. The observation we have made of it hath not been little. Always loved our sister most. With what poor judgment he hath now cast her off appears too grossly.
'Tis the infirmity of his age, yet he hath ever but slenderly known himself.
The best and soundest of his time hath been but rash. Then must we look from his age to receive not alone the imperfections of wrong and graft condition, but therewithal the unruly waywardness that infirm and choleric years bring with them.
Such unconstant starts are we like to have from him as this of Kent's punishment.
There is further compliment of leave taking between France and him, pray you. Let us sit together. If our father carry authority with such disposition he dares this last surrender of his will but offend us.
We shall further think of it.
We must do something, and in the heat.
They exit. 1 second, I just want to make sure we're recording. Are we recording? Hold on.
Recording stopped.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Scene 2. Enter Edmund the Bastard. Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, for that I am some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother? Why, bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind as generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue. Why brand they us with base, with baseness, bastardy, base? Who in the lusty stealth of nature take more composition and fierce quality than doth within a dull, stale, hired bed. Go to the creating a whole tribe of fops. Cut, string, sleep, and wink. Well then, legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimates. Fine word, legitimates. Well, my legitimates, let her speed, and my invention thrive. Edmund the base shall top the legitimates. I grow, I prosper. For gods, stand up for bastards. Enter Gloucester.
Kent vanished thus, and France in collar parted, and the king gone tonight, subscribed his power, confined to exhibition. All this done upon the gad. Edmund, and what news?
Oh, so please your lordship, none.
Why so earnestly seek you to put up that letter?
I know no news, my lord.
What paper were you reading?
Nothing, my lord.
What needed then that terrible dispatch of it in your pocket? The quality of nothing hath not such need to hide itself. Let's see. Come, if it be nothing, I shall not need spectacles.
Beseech you, sir, pardon me. It is a letter from my brother, and that I have not all read. And for so much as I have perused, I find it not fit for your looking.
Give me the letter, sir.
I shall offend either to detain or give it. The contents, as in part I understand them, are too plain.
Let's see.
And gives me paper. I hope my brother's justification. He wrote this but as an essay or like virtue.
The policy and reverence in age makes the world better to the best of our times, keeps our fortunes from us, our oldness cannot relish them. I begin to find an idle and fond bondage in the oppression of aged tyranny, who sways not as it hath power, but as it is suffered. Come to me that of this I may speak more. If your father would sleep till I waked him, ye should have this revenue forever, and live the beloved of your brother. Edgar, conspiracy! Sleep till I waked him. You should enjoy half his revenue. My son Edgar! Had he a hand to write this? A heart and brain to breed in it? When came this to you? Who brought it?
It was not brought to me, my lord. There's the cunning of it. I found it thrown in at the casement of my closet.
You know the character to be your brother's?
If the matter were my lord, I durst swear it were his. But in respect of that, I would fain think it were not.
It is his.
It is his hand of his heart. It's not in the contents.
Hath he never heretofore sounded you in this business?
Never, my lord. But I have heard him oft maintain it to be fit that sons as at perfect age and fathers declined, the father should be as ward to the son, and the son manage his revenue.
Villain! Villain! His very opinion in the letter. Abhorred villain! Unnatural, detested, brutish villain! Worse than brutish. Go, sir. Seek him. I'll apprehend him. Abominable villain! Where is he?
I do not know, my lord. If it shall please you to suspend your indignation against my brother, till you can derive from him better testimony of his intent, you should run a certain course, where if you violently proceed against him, mistaking his purpose, it would make a great gap in your own honor and shake in pieces the heart of his obedience. I dare pawn down my life for him, that he hath writ this to feel my affection to your honor, and to no other pretense of danger.
Think you so?
If your honor judge it meet, I will place you where you shall hear us confer of this. By an auricular assurance have
your satisfaction, and that without any further delay this very evening.
Cannot be such a monster
Nor is not
to his father that so tenderly and entirely loves him. Heaven and earth. Edmund, seek him out. Wind me into him. I pray you, frame the business after your own wisdom. I would unstate myself to be in a due resolution.
I was thinking, sir, that I shall like means and acquaint you with all.
These late eclipses in the sun and moon portend no good to us. The wisdom of nature can reason as thus and thus, yet nature finds itself scourged by the sequent effects. Love cools, friendship falls off, brothers divide, in cities mutinies, in countries discord, in palaces treason, in the bond crack twixt son and father. This villain of mine comes under the prediction. There's son against father. The king falls from bias of nature. There's father against child. We have time. Machinations, hollowness, treachery, and all ruinous disorders followed us disquietly to our graves. Find out this villain, Edmund. It shall lose thee nothing. Do it carefully. And the noble and true-hearted Kent banished. His offense, honesty. 'Tis strange.
He exits. This is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often the surfeits of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters. The sun, the moon, the stars, as if we were villains on necessity. Fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treacherers by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence, and all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on, an admirable evasion of poor master man to lay his goatish disposition on the charge of a star. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Major, so that it follows I am rough and lecherous. But I should have been that I am, had the maiden liced star in the firmament twinkled on my baptizing. Answer Edgar. As Patty comes, like the catastrophe of the old comedy, my cue is villainous melancholy, with a sigh, like Tom a Bedlam. These eclipses do pretend these divisions. Paso lavi. John, you're Edgar. John, are you there?
How now, Brother Edmund? What serious contemplation are you in?
I am thinking, brother, of a prediction I read the other day that should follow these eclipses.
Do you busy yourself with them?
I promise you the effects, he writes, of succeed unhappily, as of unnaturalness between the child and the parent, death, dearth, disillusions of ancient enmities, divisions in states, menaces and maledictions against king and nobles, needless diffidences, banishment of friends, dissipation of cohorts, nuptial breaches, and I know not what.
How long have you been a secretary astronomical?
Come. When saw you my father last?
The night gone by.
Spoke you with him?
Aye, 2 hours together.
Parted you in good terms? Found you no disturb in him by word or countenance?
Not at all.
Bethink yourself wherein you may have offended him, and at my entreaty forbear his presence, until some little time hath qualified the heat of his displeasure, which at this instant so rageth in him that that with the mischief of your person it would scarcely allay.
Some villain hath done me wrong.
That's my fear. I pray you have a continent forbearance till the speed of his rage goes slower. And as I say, retire with me to my lodging, from whence I will fitly bring you to hear my lord speak. Pray you go. Here's my key. If you do stir abroad, go armed.
Armed, brother?
Brother, I advise you to the best. I am no honest man, if there be any good meaning toward you. I have told you that what I have seen and heard, but think nothing like the image and horror of it. Pray you away.
Shall I hear from you anon?
I do serve you in this business. A credulous father and a noble brother, whose nature is so far from doing harms that he suspects none, on whose foolish honesty my practices ride easy. I see the business. Must be, if not by birth, have lands by wit. All with these meet that I can fashion fit. He exits. Scene 3, enter Goneril and Oswald.
Did my father strike my gentleman for chiding of his fool?
Aye, madam.
By day and night he wrongs me. Every hour he flashes into one gross crime or other that sets us all at odds. I will not endure it. His nights grow riotous, and himself upbraids us on every trifle. When he returns from hunting, I will not speak with him. Say I am sick. If you come slack of former services, you shall do well. The fault of it I'll answer.
He's coming, madam. I hear him.
Put on that weary negligence to please you and your fellows. I have it come to question. If he distaste it, let him to my sister, whose mind and mind I know in that are one, not to be overruled. Idle old man that still would manage those authorities he hath given away. Now by my life, old fools are babes again, and must be used with checks as flatteries when they are seen abused. Remember what I have said.
Well, madam.
And let his knights have colder looks among you. What grows of it no matter. Advise your fellows so. I would breed from hence occasions, and I shall, that I may speak. I'll write straight to my sister to hold my very course. Prepare for dinner.
They exits. Scene 4, enter Kents in disguise.
If but as well as I other accents borrow, they can my speech diffuse, my good intent may carry through itself to that full issue, for which I raised my likeness. Now, banished Kent, thou canst serve where thou dost stand condemned, so may it come, my master, whom thou lovest, shall find thee full of labors.
Horns within, enter Lear, knights in attendance.
Let me not stay at Dut for dinner. Go get it ready. How now? What art thou?
A man, sir.
What dost thou profess? What wouldst thou with us?
I do profess to be no less than I seem, to serve him truly that will put me in trust, to love him that is honest, to converse with him that is wise and says little, to fear judgment, to fight when I cannot choose, and to eat no fish.
What art thou?
A very honest-hearted fellow, and as poor as the king.
If thou beest as poor for a subject as he's for a king, thou art poor, you know. What wouldst thou?
Service?
Who wouldst thou serve?
You?
Dost thou know me, fellow?
No, sir. But you have that in your countenance which I would fain call master.
What's that?
Authority.
What services canst do?
I can keep honest counsel, ride, run, mar a curious tale in telling it, and deliver a plain message bluntly. That which ordinary men are fit for, I am qualified in, and the best of me is diligence.
How old art thou?
Not so young, sir, to love a woman for singing, nor so old to dote on her for anything. I have years on my back 48.
Follow me, thou shalt serve me. If I like thee no worse after dinner, I will not part from thee yet. Dinner, ye ho, dinner! Where's my knave, my fool? Go you and call my fool hither. You.
Enter
You-
Oswald. So please you. He exits.
What says that fellow there? Call that clotpo back. Where's my fool? Oh, I think the world's asleep.
Enter Knight again.
Oh, now, let me finish. Oh, now, where's that mongrel?
He says, my lord, your daughter is not well.
Why came not the slave back to me when I called him?
Sir, he answered me in the roundest manner he would not.
He would not.
My lord, I know not what the matter is, but to my judgment, your highness is not entertained with that ceremonious affection as you were wont. There is a great abatement of kindness. Appears that well in the general dependence as in the duke himself also, and your daughter.
Sayest thou so?
I beseech you pardon me, my lord, if I be mistaken, for my duty cannot be silent when I think your highness wronged.
Thou but rememberest me of mine own conception. I have perceived a most faint neglect of late, which I rather blamed as mine own jealous curiosity than as a very pretense and purpose of unkindness. I will look further into it. But where's my fool? I have not seen him this 2 days.
Since my young lady's gone to France, sir, the fool hath much pined away.
No more of that. I have noted well. Go you and tell my daughter I would speak with her. Oh, you hither, my fool. Oh, you, sir, you, come back hither, sir. Who am I, sir?
My lady's father.
My lady's father? My lord's name, you horse and dog, you slave, you cur.
I am none of these, my lord. I beseech your pardon.
Do you bandy looks with me, you rascal?
There strikes him. I'll not be struck, my lord.
Nor tripped either, you base football player.
I thank thee, fellow, thou servest me, and I'll love thee.
Come, sir, arise away. I'll teach you differences. Away, away. You will measure your lubber's length again, Terry. But away, go to, have you wisdom so?
No, my friendly knave, I thank thee, there's earnest and thy strictness.
Enter fool.
Well, let me hire him too. Here's my coxcomb.
How now, my pretty knave, how dost thou?
Sirrah, you were best take my coxcomb.
Why, my boy?
Why? For taking one's part that's out of favor. Nay, and thou canst not smile as the wind sits, thou'll catch cold shortly. There, take my coxcomb. Why, this fellow's banished his 2 daughters, and did the 3rd blessing against his will. If thou followest him, thou must need wear my coxcomb. How now, nuncle, would I had 2 coxcombs and 2 daughters.
Why, my boy?
If I gave them all my living, I'd keep my coxcombs myself. Here's mine. Beg another of thy daughters.
Take heed, sirrah, the whip.
Truth, a dog must to kennel. He must be whipped out. And the Lady Breck may stand by the fire and stink.
A pestilent goal to me.
Sirrah, I'll teach thee a speech.
Do.
Mark it, nuncle. Have more than thou showest, speak less than thou knowest. Lend less than thou owest, and ride more than thou goest. Learn more than thou trowest, and set less than thou throwest. Leave thy drink and thy whore, and keep in a door, and thou shalt have more than 2 tens to a score.
This is nothing, fool.
Then 'tis like the breath of an unfeed lawyer. You gave me nothing for it. Can you make no use of nothing, nuncle?
Why, no, boy, nothing can be made of nothing.
Prithee, tell him so much the rent of his land comes to. He will not believe a fool.
A bitter fool.
Dost thou know the difference, my boy, between a bitter fool and a sweet one?
No, lad, teach me.
That lord that counseled thee to give away thy land, come place him here by me. Do thou for him stand. The sweet and bitter fool will presently appear. The one in motley here, the other found out there.
Dost thou call me fool, boy?
All thy other titles thou hast given away. That thou wast born with.
They're altogether fool, my lord.
No, faith, lords and great men will not let me. If I had a monopoly out, they would have part on it, and ladies too. They will not let me have all the fool to myself. They'll be snatching. Uncle, give me an egg, and I'll give thee 2 crowns.
What 2 crowns shall they be?
Why, after I have cut the egg in the middle and eaten up the meat, the 2 crowns of the egg. When thou clovest thy crown in the middle and gavest away both parts, thou borest thine ass on thy back, or the dirt. Thou hast little wit in thy bald crown when thou gavest away thy golden ones. If I speak like myself in this, he'll have me whipped. First finds it so. Fools had ne'er less grace in a year, for wise men are grown foppish, and know not how their wits to wear. The manners are so apish.
When were you wont to be so full of songs, Sarah?
I have used it, nuncle, e'er since thou madest thy daughters thy mothers. For when thou gavest them the rod and put down thy own breeches, then they for sudden joy did weep, and I for sorrow sung. With such a king should play Bo Peep and go the fools among. Prithee, nuncle, keep a schoolmaster that can teach thy fool to lie. I would fain learn to lie.
And you lie, Sarah, will have you.
I marvel what kin thou and thy daughters are. They'll have me whipped for speaking true. Thou'll have me whipped for lying. And sometimes I'm whipped for holding my peace. I had rather be any kind of thing than a fool. Yet I would not be thee, nuncle. Thou hast pared thy wit o' both sides and left nothing in the middle. Here comes one of the pairings.
Enter Goneril.
How now, daughter? What makes that front let on? Methinks you are too much lady the proud.
Thou wast a pretty fellow when thou hadst no need to care for her frowning. Now thou art an O with a figure. I'm better than thou art now. I am a fool. Thou art nothing. Yes, forsooth, I will hold my tongue, so your face bids me, though you say nothing. Mum, hidek, histak, stir crumb, weary of all, shall want some. That's a Shelb's peace cod.
Not only, sir, this your all licensed fool, but other of your insolent retinue do hourly carp and quarrel, breaking forth in rank and not to be endured riots. Sir, I had thought by making this well known unto you to have found a safe redress, but now grow fearful by what yourself too late have spoke and done, that you protect this course and put it on by your allowance, which if you should, the fault would not scape censure, nor the redresses sleep, which in the tender of a wholesome will might in their working do you that offense which else were shame, that then necessity will call discreet proceeding.
For you know, Nuncle, hedge sparrow said the cuckoo so wrong that it had its head bit off by its young. So out went the candle, and we were all left darkling.
Are you our daughter?
I would you would make worse. I would you would make use of your good wisdom, whereof I know you are fraught, and put away those dispositions which of late transport you from what you rightly are.
May not an ass know when the cart draws the horse? Oh, Jug, I love thee.
Does any here know me? This is not Lear. Does Lear walk thus, speak thus? Where are his eyes? Either his notion weakens, his discernings are lethargied. Ha ha! Waking, 'tis not so. Who is it that can tell me who I am?
Lear's shadow.
I would learn that, for by the marks of sovereignty, knowledge, and reason, I should be false persuaded I had daughter.
Which they will make an obedient father.
Your name, fair gentlewoman?
This admiration, sir, is much of the savor of other your new pranks. I do beseech you to understand my purposes aright. As you are old and reverend, should be wise. Where do you keep 100 knights and squires, men so disordered, so debauched and bold, that this our court infected with their manners shows like a riotous inn? Epicurism and lust make it more like a tavern or a brothel than a grace palace. The shame itself does speak for instant remedy. Be then desired by her that else will take the thing she begs, a little to disquantity your train, and the remainers that shall still depend to be such men as may be sort your age, which know themselves and you.
Darkness and devils, saddle my horses, call my train together. Degenerate bastard, I'll not trouble thee, yet have I left a daughter.
You strike my people, and your disordered rabble make servants of their betters.
Enter Albany.
Woe that too late repent. Oh, sir, are you come? Is it your will? Speak, sir. Prepare my horses. Ingratitude, thou marble-hearted fiend, more hideous when thou show'st thee in a child than the sea monster.
Pray, sir, be patient.
Detested kite, thou liest. My train are men of choice and rarest parts, that all particulars of duty know, and in the most exact regard support the worships of their name. Oh, most small fault, how ugly didst thou in Cordelia show, which like an engine wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place, drew from my heart all leaven, added to the gall. Oh, Lear, 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 beat at this gate that let thy folly in and thy dear judgments out. Go, go, my people.
My lord, I am guileless, as I am ignorant of what hath moved you.
It may be so, my lord. Hear, nature, hear. Dear goddess, hear. Suspend thy purpose if thou didst intend to make this creature purple. Into her womb convey sterility. Dry up in her the organs of increase, and from her derogate body never spring a babe to honor her, if she must teem. Create her child of spleen, that it may live and be athwart this nature and torment to her. Let it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth, with cadent tears, spread channels in her cheeks, turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child.
Thou gods,
that we adore, oh, who's this?
Never afflict yourself to know more of it, but let his disposition have that scope, as dotage gives us.
What? 50 of my followers at a clap within a fortnight?
What's the matter, sir?
Oh, tell me. Life and death, I am ashamed that thou hast power to shake my manhood thus, that these hot tears which break from me perforce should make thee worth them. Blast and fogs upon thee, the tented woundings of a father's curse miss every sense about thee. Oh, fond eyes, be weakness cause again I'll pluck you out and cast you with the waters that you lose to temper clay. Yea, it come to this. Ha! Let it be so. I have another daughter who I am sure is kind and comfortable. When she shall hear this of thee with her nails, shall flay thy wolfish visage. Thou shalt find that I'll resume the shape which thou dost think I have cast off forever.
Did you mark that?
I cannot be so partial, Goneril, that the great love I bear you, to the great love I bear you.
Pray you content. What Oswald? Ho, you, sir, more knave than fool, after your master.
Nuncle Lear, tarry, take the fool with thee. Fox, one has caught her, and such a daughter, sure to the slaughter if my cap would buy a halter. So the fool follows after.
This man hath had good counsel. 100 knights. 'Tis politic and safe, and let him keep at point 100 knights. Yes, that on every dream, each buzz, each fancy, each complaint, it's like he may enguard his dotage with their powers and hold our lives in mercy. Oswald, I say.
Mark, you want to take that? Or
Safer than
you're
trust
Albany
too
and Sam.
far. Safer than trust
Well,
too
you may
safer
figure
than
too.
Okay. Safer than trust too far. Let me still take the harms I fear, not fear still to be taken. I know his heart. What he hath uttered I have writ my sister. If she sustain him and his 100 knights, when I have showed the unfitness. How now, Oswald? What have you writ that letter to my sister?
Aye, madam.
Take you some company and away to horse. Inform her full of my particular fear, and thereto add such reasons of your own as may compact it more. Get you gone and hasten your return. No, my lord, this milky gentleness and course of yours, though I condemn not, yet under pardon you are much more at task for want of wisdom than praised for harmful mildness.
How far your eyes may pierce, I cannot tell. Driving to better oft me mar what's well.
Nay then,
Well, events, the exits. Okay, guys, don't go too far because we're kind of short here. So we're going to the previous reading assignments because Mark, you were supposed to be Albany in that scene.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so don't stray too far, everybody. I'll just remind everybody. Okay, so this scene 5. Okay, so everybody's assigned. Okay. Enter Lear, Kent in disguise, gentleman, and fool.
Go before Gloucester with these letters. Acquaint my daughter no further than with anything you know that comes from the man. If your diligence be not speedy, I shall be there for you.
I will not sleep, my lord, till I have delivered your letter.
Sorry. I'm multitasking. If a man's brains were in his heels, were it not in danger of kibes?
Aye, boy.
And then, I prithee, be merry, thy wit shall not go slipshod. Shalt See, thy other daughter will use thee kindly. For though she's as like this as a crab's like an apple, yet I can tell what I can tell.
What canst thou tell, boy?
She will taste as like this as a crab does to a crab. Thou canst tell why one's nose stands in the middle of one's face?
No.
Why, to keep one's eyes on either side of the nose. That's what a man cannot smell out, he may spy into.
I did her wrong.
Canst tell how an oyster makes a shell?
No.
I neither. But I can tell why a snail has a house.
Why?
Why, to put his head in, not to give it away to his daughters and leave his horns without a case.
I will forget my nature, so kind a father. Be my horses ready?
Thy asses are gone about him. The reason why the 7 stars are no more than 7 is a pretty reason.
Because they are not 8.
Yes, indeed, thou wouldst make a good fool.
To take it again perforce, monster ingratitude.
If thou wert my fool, uncle, I'd have thee beaten for being old before thy time.
How's that?
Thou shouldst not have been old till thou hadst been wise.
Oh, let me not be mad. Not mad, sweet heavens, keep me in temper. I would not be mad. How now, are our horses ready?
Ready, my lord.
Come, boy.
She that's a maid now, and laughs at my departure, shall not be a maid long unless things be cut shorter.
They exit. Act 2, scene 1. Okay, in this scene, just let Sheila, you're going to be reading Regan and Gloucester.
Okay.
Enter Edmund the Bastard and Curan. Save thee, Curan.
And you, sir. I have been with your father and given him notice that the Duke of Cornwall and Regan, his duchess, will be here with him this night.
How comes that?
Nay, I know not. You have heard the news abroad, I mean the whispered ones, for they are yet but ear-kissing arguments.
Not I, pray you. What are they?
Have you heard of no likely wars toward the Dukes of Cornwall and Albany?
Not a word.
You may do. Then in time, fare you well, sir.
The Duke be here tonight? The better best. This weaves itself perforce into my business. My father hath set guard to take my brother, and I have one thing of a queasy question, which I must act. Griefness and fortune work. Brother, a word, descend, brother, I say. My father wishes, so sir, fly this place. Intelligence is given where you are hid. You have now the good advantage of the night. Have you not spoken against the Duke of Cornwall? He's coming hither now, in the night, to the haste, and Regan with him. Have you nothing said upon the party against the Duke of Albany? Mark, could you take that, please?
Edgar?
Yes, please.
Okay. I am sure on it. Not a word.
I hear my father coming. Pardon me. In cutting, I must draw my sword upon you. Draw, seem, to defend yourself. Now quit you will. Yield, come before my father. Light, oh, here. Fly, brother, torches, so farewell. Some blood drawn on me would beget opinion of my more fierce endeavor. I have seen drunkards do more than this in sport. Father, stop! No, help! Enter Gloucester and servants with torches.
Now, Edmund, where's the villain?
Sheer stood, he in the dark, his sharp sword out, mumbling of wicked charms, conjuring the moon to stand on auspicious mistress.
But where is he?
Look, sir, I bleed.
Where is the villain, Edmund?
Fled this way, sir, when by no means he could.
Pursue him, ho! Go after! By no means what?
Persuade me to the murder of your lordship. But that I told him the revenging gods against Parricides did all the thunder bend, spoke with how manifold and strong a bond the child was bound to father. Sir, in fine, seeing how loathly opposite I stood to his unnatural purpose, in fell motion with his prepared sword he charges home my unprovoked body, lanced mine arm, and when he saw my best alarmed spirit, bold in the quarrel right, roused to the encounter, or whether gasped by the noise I made, full suddenly he fled.
Let him fly far. Not in this land shall he remain uncaught and found. Dispatch. The noble Duke, my master, my worthy arch and patron, comes tonight. By his authority I will proclaim it, that he which finds him shall deserve our thanks, bringing the murderous coward to the stake. He that conceals him, death.
When I dissuaded him from his intent and found him high to do it, with cursed speech I threatened to discover him. He replied, Thou unpossessing bastard, dost thou think if I would stand against thee, would the reposal of any trust, virtue, or worth in thee make thy words faith? No, I should deny, and this I would, though thou didst produce my very character, I'd turn it all to thy suggestion, plot, and damn it practice. Thou must make a dullard of the world, if they not thought the profits of my death were very pregnant and potential spurs to make thee seek it.
Oh, strange unfastened villain. Would he deny his letter, said he? I never got him. Hark, the Duke's trumpets, I know not why he comes. All ports I'll bar, the villain shall not escape. The Duke must grant me that. Besides, his picture I will send far and near, that all the kingdom may have due note of him, and of my land, loyal and natural boy, I'll work the means to make thee capable.
Enter Cornwall, Regan, and attendants.
How now, my noble friend? Since I am come hither, which I can call but now, I have heard strange news.
If it be true, all vengeance comes too short, which can pursue the offender. How dost, my lord? Oh, madam, my old heart is cracked. It is cracked. Can anybody share this with me?
I will. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
What, did my father's godson seek you life? He whom my father named your Edgar?
oh, lady. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Mark, could you read Gloucester?
Yeah, I thought I was supposed to be reading that. Okay.
Yes,
I'll do
yes.
it.
I for some
I
reason.
had Gloucester before. That's why I was
Okay.
confused.
Oh, madam.
Sorry.
Oh, madam, my old heart is cracked. It's cracked.
What, did my father's godson seek your life? He whom my father named your Edgar?
Oh, lady, shame would have it hid.
Was he not companion with the riotous knights that tended upon my father?
I know not, madam. 'Tis too bad, too bad.
Yes, madam. He was of that consort.
No marvel then, though he were ill affected, 'tis they have put him on the old man's death to have the expense and waste of his revenues. I have this present evening from my sister been well informed of them, and with such cautions that if they come to sojourn at my house, I'll not be there.
Nor, I assure thee, Regan, Edmund, I hear that you have shown your father a childlike office.
It was my duty, sir.
He did betray his practice and received this hurt, you see, striving to apprehend him.
Is he pursued?
Aye, my good lord.
If he be taken, he shall never more be feared of doing harm. Make your own purpose, how in my strength you please. For you, Edmund, whose virtue and obedience doth this instant so much commend itself, you shall be ours. Natures of such deep trust we shall much need. You we first seize upon.
I shall serve you, sir, truly, however else.
For him I thank your grace.
You know not why we come to visit you.
Thus out of season, threading dark-eyed night, occasions noble Gloucester of some poise, wherein we must have use of your advice. Our father, he hath writ, so hath our sister of differences, which I best thought it fit to answer from our home. The several messengers from hence attend dispatch. Our good old friend lay comforts to your bosom and bestow your needful counsel to our business, which craves the instant use.
I serve you, madam. Your graces are right welcome.
Flourish, they exit. Scene 2. Shelia, you're going to read Regan in this scene.
Okay, Regan.
Everybody else in it. Enter Kent, in disguise Oswald and the Stewarts. John, you're Oswald.
Good dawning to thee, friend. Art of this house?
I,
Where may we set our horses?
in the mire,
Pray thee, if thou lovest me, tell me.
I love thee not.
Why then I care not for thee.
If I had thee in Lipsbury pinfold, I would make thee care for me.
Why dost thou use me thus? I know thee not.
Fellow, I know thee,
Well, what dost thou know me for?
a knave, a rascal, an eater of broken meats, a base, proud, shallow, beggarly, three-suited, 100-pound, filthy, worsted-stocking knave, a lily-livered, action-taking knave, a whoreson, glaze-gazing, super-serviceable, finical rogue, one trunk-inheriting slave, one that would be a bawd, in way of good service, and art nothing but the composition of a knave, beggar, coward, pander, and the son of heir of a mongrel bitch. One whom I will beat into clamorous whining, if thou deniest the least syllable of thy addiction.
Why, what a monstrous fellow art thou thus to rail on one that is neither known or of me knows thee?
What a brazen-faced varlet art thou, to deny thou knowest me? Is it 2 days ago since I tripped up thy heels and beat thee before the king? Draw, you rogue! For though it be night, yet the moon shines. I'll make a sop of the moonshine of you. Draw, you whoreson, Culliony Barbary mung, draw!
Away, I'll have nothing to do with thee.
Draw, you rascal! You come with letters against the king, and take Vanity the puppet's part against the royalty of her father. Draw, you rogue, or also carbonado your shanks. Draw, you rascal, come your ways.
Help, ho, murder, help,
Strike, you slave! Stand, rogue, stand, you neat slave, strike!
help, ho, murder, murder.
Enter Edmund, Cornwall, Regan, Gloucester servants. Oh no, what's the matter? Hearts!
With you, goodman boy, as you please. Come, I'll flesh ye. Come on, young master.
Weapons, arms, what's the matter here?
Oh, well, keep peace upon your lives. He dies, that strikes again. What is the matter?
The messengers from our sister and the king.
What is your difference? Speak.
I am scarce in breath, my lord.
No, Marvel, you have so bestirred your valor, you cowardly rascal. Nature disclaims in thee. A tailor made thee.
Thou art a strange fellow. A tailor make a man.
I, a tailor, sir. A stone cutter or painter could not have made him so ill, though he had been but 2 hours at the trade.
Speak yet. How grew you quarrel?
This ancient ruffian, sir, whose life I have spared at suit of his great beard.
Thou whoreson Zed, thou unnecessary letter. My lord, if you will give me leave, I will tread this unbolted villain into mortar, and daub the wall of a jakes with him. Spare my grey beard, you wagtail.
Yes, sirrah, you beastly knave. Know you no reverence?
Yes, sir, but anger hath a privilege.
Why art thou angry?
That such a slave as this should wear a sword who wears no honesty. Such smiling rogues as these, like rats, oft bite the holy cords atwain, which are too entrenched and loose, smooth every passion that in the natures of their lords rebel, bring oil to fire, snow their colder moods, renege, affirm, and turn their halcyon beaks with every gale and vary of their masters, knowing not, like dogs, but following a plague upon your epileptic visage. Smile you my speeches as I were a fool? Goose! If I had upon a Sarum plain, I'd drive ye cackling home to Camelot.
Ah, what? Art thou mad, old fellow?
I'll fill you out. Say that.
No contraries hold more antipathy than I and such a knave.
Why dost thou call him knave? What is his fault?
His countenance likes me not.
No more, perchance, does mine, nor his, nor hers.
Sir, 'tis my occupation to be plain. I have seen better faces in my time than stands on any shoulder that I see. Only at this
This is some fellow who, having been praised for bluntness, doth affect a saucy roughness, and constrain the garb quite from his nature. He cannot flatter, he an honest mind and plain, he must speak truth, and they will take it. So if not, he's plain. These kind of days I know, which in this plainness harbor more craft and more corrupter ends than 20 silly ducking observants that stretch their duties nicely.
Sir, in good sooth and sincere verity, under the allowance of your great aspect, whose influence, like the wreath of radiant fire on flickering Phoebus' front.
What means by this?
To go out of my dialect, which you discommend so much. I know, sir, I am no flatterer. He that beguiled you in a plain accent was a plain knave, which for my part I will not be, though I should win your displeasure to entreat me to it.
What's the offense you gave him?
I never gave him any. It pleased the king, his master, very late to strike at me upon his misconstruction, when he, compact and flattering his displeasure, tripped me behind, being down, insulted, railed, and put upon him such a deal of man that worthy him, got praises of the king for him attempting who was self-subdued, and in the fleshment of this dread exploit drew on me here again.
None of these rogues and cowards but Ajax is their fool.
Fetch forth the stocks, you stubborn ancient knave. You reverend braggart, we'll teach you.
Sir, I am too old to learn. Call not your stocks for me. I serve the king, on whose enjoyment I was sent to you. You shall do small respect, showed him bold malice against the grace and person of my master, stalking his messenger.
Fetch forth the stocks. As I have life and honor, there shall be sit till noon.
Till noon? Till night, my lord, and all night too.
Why, madam, if I were your father's dog, ye should not use me so.
Sir, being his knave, I will.
This is a fellow of the self-same color our sister speaks of. Come, bring away the stocks.
Let me beseech your grace not to do so. His fault is much, and the good king, his master, will check him for it. Your proposed low correction is such as basest and contemneth wretches for pilferings and most common trespasses are punished with. The king must take it ill, that he so slightly valued in his messenger should have him thus restrained.
I'll answer that.
My sister may receive it much more worse to have her gentleman abused, assaulted for following her affairs, put in his legs.
Come, my good lord, away.
I am sorry for thee, friend. 'Tis the Duke's pleasure, whose disposition all the world well knows will not be rubbed or stopped. I'll entreat for thee.
Pray do not, sir. I have watched and traveled hard. Sometime I shall sleep out, the rest I'll whistle. A good man's fortune may grow out at our heels. Give you good morrow.
The Duke's to blame to this. 'Twill be ill taken.
Good king, it must approve the common saw. Thou, out of heaven's benediction, consent to the warm sun. Approach, thou beacon to this yonder globe, that by the comfortable beams I may peruse this letter. Nothing almost sees miracles but misery. I know 'tis from Cordelia, who hath most fortunately been informed of my obscured course, and shall find time from this enormous state, seeking to give losses and remedies. All weary and or watch take vantage, heavy eyes not to behold this shameful lodging. Fortune, good night. Smile once more. Farewell.
Sleeps. Scene 3. Enter Edgar. Mona, you're reading Edgar in this?
Oh, let me check. Okay. I heard myself proclaimed, and by the happy hollow of a tree escaped hunt. No port is free, no place that guard and most unusual vigilance doth not attend my taking. Whilst I may escape, I will preserve myself and am bethought to take the basest and most poorest shape that ever penury and contempt of man brought near to beast. My face I'll grime with filth, blanket my loins, elf all my hairs in knots, and with presented nakedness outface the winds and persecutions of the sky. The country gives me proof and precedent of Bedouin beggars who with roaring voices strike in their numbed and mortified arms pins, wooden sticks, nails, sprigs of rosemary, and with this horrible object from low farms pour pelting villages, sheepcotes, and mills, sometime with lunatic bands, sometime with prayers, enforce their charity. Poor Turley God, poor Tom, that's something yet. Edgar, I nothing am.
He exits. Scene 4. Okay, in this one, again, we're back to the original. Mona, you're reading Gloucester and Regan, and I'm reading Goneril. Enter Lear, fool and gentleman.
'Tis strange that they should so depart from home and not send back my messenger.
As I learned the night before, there is no purpose in them of this remove.
Hail to thee, noble master.
Ha! Makest thou this shame thy pastime?
No, my lord.
He wears cruel garters. Horses are tied by the heads, dogs and bears by the neck, monkeys by the loins, and men by the legs. When a man's over lusty in legs, then he wears wooden nether stocks.
What's he that hath so much thy place mistook to set thee here?
It is both he and she, your son and daughter.
No,
Yes,
no, I say.
I say yea.
By Jupiter I swear no.
Yes, they have. By Juno I swear I.
They durst not do it. They would not do it. 'Tis worse than murder to do upon respect such violent outrage. Resolve me in all modest haste which way thou mightst deserve or they impose this usage coming from us.
My lord, when at their home I did commend your highness letters to them, ere I was risen from the place that showed my duty kneeling, came there a reeking post, stewed in his haste, half breathless, panting forth from Goneril his mistress's salutations, delivered letters, spite of intermission, which presently they read, on whose contents they summoned up their many, straight took horse, commanded me to follow and attend the leisure of their answer, gave me cold looks, and meeting here and the other messenger, whose welcome I perceived had poisoned mine, being the very fellow that of late displayed so saucily against your highness, having more man than wit about me, drew, he raised the house with loud and coward cries, your son and daughter found this trespass worth the shame which here it suffers.
Winter's not gone yet. The wild geese fly that way. Fathers that wear rags do make their children blind, but fathers that bear bags shall see their children kind. Fortune that errant whore ne'er turns the key to the poor. But for all this, thou shalt have as many dolours for thy daughters as thou canst tell in a year.
Oh, how this mother swells up toward my heart. Hysterica patio, down thy climbing sorrow, thy elements below. Where is this daughter?
With the earl, sir, here within.
Follow me not. Stay here.
Thank you, no more offense, but what you speak of?
None. How chance the king comes with so small a train?
Thou hast been set in the stocks for that question, thou'st well deserved it.
Why, fool?
We'll set thee to school to an end, to teach thee there's no laboring in the winter. All that follow their noses are led by their eyes, but blind men. And there's not a nose among 20 but can smell him stinking. Let go thy hold when a great wheel runs down a hill, lest it break thy neck with following. But the great one that goes upward, let him draw thee after. When a wise man gives thee better counsel, give me mine again. I would have none but knaves follow it, since a fool gives it. That serve which serves and seeks for gain and follows but for form will pack when it begins to rain and leave thee in the storm. But I will tarry, the fool will stay, and let the wise men fly. The knave turns fool that runs away. Fool, no knave, there die.
Where learned you this, fool?
Not in the stocks, fool.
Enter Lear and Gloucester.
Deny to speak with me. They are sick. They are weary. They have traveled all the night. There fetches the images of revolt and flying off. Fetch me a better answer.
My dear lord, you know the fiery quality of the Duke, how unremovable and fixed he is in his own course.
Vengeance, plague, death, confusion. Fiery? What quality? Like Gloucester, I'd speak with the Duke of Cornwall and his wife.
Well, my good lord, I have informed them so.
Inform them. Dost thou understand me, man?
I, my good lord.
The king would speak with Cornwall. The dear father would with his daughter speak. Commands 10 service. Are they informed of this? My breath and blood. Fiery, the fiery Duke. Tell the hot Duke that... No, but not yet. Maybe he is not well. Infirmity does still neglect all office whereto our health is bound. We are not ourselves when nature being oppressed commands the mind to suffer with the body. How forbear? And then fallen out with my more headier will to take the indisposed and sickly fit for the second man. Death on my state, wherefore should he sit here? This act persuades me that this remotion of the Duke and his practice only. Give me my servant forth. Go tell the Duke and wife I'd speak with them. Now, presently, bid them come forth and hear me, or at their chamber door I'll beat the drum till it cry sleep to death.
I would have all well betwixt you.
Oh me, my heart, my rising heart. But down.
Cry to it, Nuncle, as the Cockney did to the eels when she put him in the pot alive. Napped him, or the coxcomb with a stick, and cried, down, wantons, down. 'Twas her brother that, in pure kindness, to his horse gave buttered hay.
Enter Cornwall, Regan, Gloucester, servants.
Good morrow to you both.
Hail to your
Roger.
grace.
I am glad to see your highness.
Regan, I think you are. I know what reason I have to think so. If thou shouldst not be glad, I would divorce me from thy mother's tomb, sepulchring an adulteress. Oh, are you free? But the time for that. Beloved Regan, thy sister is not. Oh, Regan, she hath tied sharp tooth unkindness like a vulture. Here, I can scarce speak to thee. Dost not believe how depraved equality. Oh, Regan.
I pray you, sir, take patience. I have hope you less know how to value her desert than she to scant her duty.
Say, how is that?
I cannot think my sister in the least would fail her obligation. If, sir, perchance she have restrained the riots of your followers, 'tis on such ground and to such wholesome end as clears her from all blame.
My curse is on her.
Oh, sir, you are old. Nature in you stands on the very verge of his confine. You should be ruled and led by some discretion that discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore, I pray you, that to our sister you do make return. Say you have wronged her.
Ask her forgiveness. Do you mark how this becomes the house? Oh, dear daughter, I confess that I am old. Age is unnecessary. On my knees, I beg that you'll vouchsafe me raiment, bed, and food.
Good sir, no more. These are unsightly tricks. Return you to my sister.
Never, Regan. She hath evaded me half my train, looked black upon me, struck me with her tug most serpent-like upon the very heart. All the stored vengeances of heaven fall on her ingrateful top. Strike her young bones, you taking airs, you lameness.
Aye. Aye.
You nimble lightnings, dart your blinding flames into her scornful eyes. Infect her beauty. You fence-suck fogs drawn by the powerful sun to fall and blister.
Oh, the blessed gods. So will you wish on me when the rash mood is on?
No, Regan, thou shalt never have my curse. Thy tender-hefted nature shall not give thee o'er to harshness. Her eyes are fierce, but thine do comfort and not burn. 'Tis not in thee to grudge my pleasures, to cut off my train, to bandy hasty words, to scant my sizes, and in conclusion to oppose the bolt against my coming in. Thou better know'st the offices of nature, bond of childhood, effects of courtesy, dues of gratitude. Thy hap of the kingdom hast thou not forgot wherein I thee endowed.
Good sir, to the purpose.
Who put my man in the stocks?
What trumpet's that?
I know it, my sisters. This approves her letter, that she would soon be here.
Enter Oswald and Stuart.
This is a slave whose easy borrowed pride dwells in the fickle grace of her he follows. Out, varlet, from my sight!
What means your grace?
Who stalked my servant? Regan, I have good hope thou didst not know on it. Who comes here? Oh, heaven. If you do love old men, if your sweet way allow obedience, if yourselves are old, make it your cause. Send down and take my part. Art thou ashamed to look upon this spear? Oh, Regan, will you take her by the hand?
Why not by the hand, sir? How have I offended? All's not offense that indiscretion finds and dotage terms so.
Both sides, you are too tough. Will you yet hold? How come my man of the stocks?
I set him there, sir. But his own disorders deserve much less advancement.
You.
I pray you, Father, being weak seems so. If till the expiration of your month you will return and sojourn with my sister, dismissing half your train, then come to me. I am now from home and out of that provision which shall be needful for your entertainment.
Return to her, and 50 men dismiss? No. Rather, I abjure all roofs and choose to wage against the enmity of the air. To be a comrade with the wolf and owl, necessity's sharp pitch. Return with her. Why, the hot-blooded France that dowerless took our youngest born, I could as well be brought to knee his throne and squire like pension peg to keep base life afoot. Return to her. Persuade me rather to be slave and sumter to this detested brood.
At your choice, sir.
I pray thee, daughter, do not make me mad. I will trouble thee, my child, no more. We'll no more meet, no more see one another. But yet thou art my flesh, my blood, my daughter, or rather a disease that's in my flesh, which I must needs call mine. Thou art a boil, a plague sore of embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood. But I'll not chide thee. Let shame come when it will. I do not call it. I do not bid the thunder bearer shoot, nor tell tales of thee to high judging Jove. Mend when thou canst. Be better at thy leisure. I can be patient. I can stay with Regan, I and my 100 nuns.
Not altogether so. I look not for you, nor am provided for your fit welcome. Give ear, sir, to my sister. From those that mingle reason with your passion must be content to think you old and so, but she knows what she does.
Is this well spoken?
I dare avouch it, sir. What, 50 followers? Is it not well? Why should you need of more? Yea, or so many sit that both charge and danger speak against so great a number. How in one house should many people under two commands hold amity? 'Tis hard, almost impossible.
Why might not she might receive attendance from those that she calls servants, or from mine?
Why not, my lord? If then they chance to slack you, we could control them. If you will come to me, but now I spy a danger, I entreat you to bring but 5 and 20. To no more will I give place or notice.
I gave you all,
And in good time you gave it.
made you my guardians, my depositaries, but kept a reservation to be followed with such a number. What, must I come to you with 25? Regan, said you so?
And speak it again, my lord, no more with me.
Those wicked creatures yet do look well favored when others are more wicked, not being the worst stands in some rank of praise. I'll go with thee, thy 50 yet double 25, and thou art twice her love.
Hear me, my lord. What need you 25, 10, or 5 to follow in a house where twice so many have a command to tend?
What need one?
Oh, reason not the need. Our basest beggars are in the poorest things superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life is cheap as beasts. Thou art a lady, if only to go warm were gorgeous. Why, nature needs not what thou gorgeous wearest, which scarcely keeps thee warm. But for true need, you, heavens, give me the patience I need. You see me here, you gods. A poor old man is full of grief, his age wretched in both. If it be you that stirs these daughters' hearts against their father, fool me not so much to bear it tamely. Touch me with noble anger, and let not women's weapons water drops stain my man's cheeks. No, you unnatural hags, I will have revenges on you both at all the world shop. I will do such things. What they are yet I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping, but thou heart shall break into 100,000 claws or ere I'll weep. Oh, fool, I shall go mad.
Let us withdraw. 'Twill be a storm.
This house is little. The old man and his people cannot be well bestowed.
'Tis his own blame hath put himself from rest. He must needs taste his folly.
For his particular, I'll receive him gladly, but not one follower.
So am I purposed. Where's my Lord of Gloucester? Oh, I'm sorry. Followed the
So
old
am I purposed. Where's my Lord of Gloucester?
Followed the old man forth. He is returned.
The king is in high rage.
Whither is he going?
Calls to horse, but will I know not whither.
'Tis best to give him way. He lends himself.
My lord entreat him by no means to stay. Alack, the night comes on, and the high winds do sorely ruffle. For many miles about, there's scarce a bush.
Oh,
bush.
sir, to willful men the injuries that they themselves procure must be their schoolmasters. Shut up your doors. He is attended with a desperate train, and what they may incense him to being apt to have his ear abused, wisdom bids fear.
Shut up your doors, my lord. 'Tis a wild night. My Regan counsels well. Come out of the storm.
They exit. Act 3. Shelia, could you read gentlemen in this scene? Shelia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Could you read gentlemen in this scene?
Sure.
Thank you. Storm still. Enter Kent in disguise and a gentleman severally.
Who's there? Besides foul weather,
One-minded like the weather, most unquietly.
I know you. Where is the king?
Contending with the fretful elements. Bids the wind blow the earth into the sea or swell the curled waters above the main, that things might change or cease. Tears his white hair, which the impetuous blast with eyeless rage catch in their flurry and make nothing of. strives in his little world of man to outscorn the to and fro conflicting wind and rain. This night wherein the curb-drawn bear would couch, the lion and the belly-pinched wolf keep their fur dry. Unbonneted he runs and bids what will take all.
But who is with him?
None but the fool who labors to outjust his heart-struck injuries.
Sir, I do know you, and dare upon the warrant of my note commend a dear thing to you. There is division, although as yet the face of it be covered with mutual cunning, twixt Albany and Cornwall, who have, as who have not, that their great stars throned and set high, servants who seem no less, which are to France the spies and speculations intelligent of our state, what hath been seen either in snuffs and packings of the dukes, of the hard reign which both of them have borne against the old kind king, or something deeper, whereof perchance these are but furnishings. But true it is, from France there comes a power into this scattered kingdom, who already, wise in our negligence, have secret feet in some of our best ports, and are at point to show their open banner. Now to you, if on my credit you dare build so far to make your speed to Dover, you shall find some that will thank you, making just report of how unnatural and maddening sorrow the king hath caused. I am a gentleman of blood and breeding, and from some knowledge and assurance offer this office to you.
I will talk further with you.
No, do not. For confirmation that I am much more than my outwall, open this purse, and take what it contains. If you shall see Cordelia, as fear not but you shall, show her this ring, and she will tell you who your fellow is that yet you do not know. Fie on this storm. I will go seek the king.
Give me your hand. Have you no more to say?
Few words, but to effect more than all yet, that when we have found the king, in which your pain, that way all this, he that first lights on him, follow the other.
They exit. Scene 2. Storm still. Enter Lear and Fool.
Blow winds and crack your cheeks. Rage, blow. You cataracts and hurricanes, spout till you have drenched our steeples. Drown the clocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt couriers of all-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head, and thou, all-shaking thunder, strike flat the thick rotundity of the world, crack nature's molds, all German spill at once that makes ingrateful man.
Oh, Nuncle, court holy water in a dry house is better than this rainwater out a door. Good Nuncle, in, ask thy daughter's blessing. Here's a night pities neither wise men nor fools.
Rumble thy belly full, spit, fire, spout, rain, nor rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I tax you not, you elements, with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, called you children. You owe me no subscription. Then let fall your horrible pleasure. Here I stand, your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers that will with true pernicious daughters join your high engendered battle against a head so old and white as this. Oh, 'tis foul.
He that has a house to put's head in has a good headpiece. The codpiece that will house before the head hath any, the head and he shall louse, so beggars marry many. The man that makes his toe what he his heart should make shall of a corn cry woe and turn his sleep to wake. There was never yet a fair woman, but she made mouths in a glass.
Though I will be tired of all patience, I will say nothing.
Who's there?
Oh, Mary, here's grace and a codpiece. That's a wise man and a fool.
Alas, sir, are you here? Things that love night love not such nights as these. The wrathful skies gallow the very wanderers of the dark and make them keep their caves. Since I was a man, such sheets of fire, such bursts of horrid thunder, such such groans of roaring wind and rain, I never remember to have heard. Man's nature cannot carry the affliction nor the fear.
Let the great gods that keep this dreadful flutter o'er our heads find out their enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch, that hast within thee undivulged crimes, unwhipped up justice. Hide thee, thou bloody hand, thou perjured, and thou simular of virtue that art incestuous. Caitiff, to pieces shake, that under covert and convenient seeming have practiced on man's life. Close pent-up guilt, rive your concealing countenance, and cry these dreadful summoners' grace. I am a man more sinned against than sinning.
Alack, bareheaded. Gracious my lord, hard by here is a hovel. Some friendship will it lend you against the tempest. Repose you there, while I to this hard house, more harder than the stones whereof 'tis raised, which even but now demanding after come in, return and force their scanted courtesy.
My wits begin to turn. Come on, boy. How dost my boy? Art cold? I am cold myself. Where is thy straw, my fellow? The art of our necessities is strange and can make the vile things precious. Come, your hovel. Poor fool and knave, I have one part in my heart that's sorry yet for thee.
He that has a little tiny wit with hey ho, the wind and the rain, must make content with his fortunes fit, though the rain it raineth every day.
True, my good boy. Come, bring us to this hovel.
This is a brave night to cool a courtesan. I'll speak prophecy ere I go. When priests are more in word than matter, when brewers mar their malt with water, when nobles are their tailors' tutors, no heretics burned, but wenches' suitors. When every case in law is right, no squire in debt, no poor knight, when slanders do not live in tongues, nor cut purses come not to throngs, when usurers tell their goal in the field, and bawds and whores to churches build, then shall the realm of Albion come to great confusion. Then comes the time whose lives to seek that going shall be used with feet. This prophecy Merlin shall make, for I live before his time.
They exit. Scene 3, enter Gloucester and Edmund.
Alack, alack, Edmund, I like not this unnatural dealing. When I desired their leave that I might pity him, they took from me the use of mine own house, charged me on pain of perpetual displeasure neither to speak of him, entreat for him, or in any ways to stain him.
Most savage and unnatural.
Go to, say you nothing. There is division between the dukes, and a worse matter than that. I have received a letter this night. 'Tis dangerous to be spoken. I have locked the letter in my closet. The injuries the king now bears will be revenged. My script moved. Oops, sorry, my script moved. These injuries the king now bears will be revenged home. There is a part of a power already footed. We must incline to the king. I will look him and privily relieve him. Go you and maintain talk with the duke that my charity be not of him perceived. If he ask for me, I am ill and gone to bed. If I die for it, as no less has threatened me, the king, my old master, must be relieved. There is strange things toward Edmund. Pray you, be careful.
This courtesy forbid thee shall the Duke instantly know, and of that letter too. Seems fair deserving, and must draw me that which my father loses, no less than all. The younger rises, when the old doth fall. He exits. Scene 4, enter Lear, Kent in disguise and fool.
Here is the place, my lord. Good my lord, enter. The tyranny of the open night's too rough for nature to endure.
Let me alone.
Good my lord, enter here.
Will break my heart.
I had rather break mine own. Good my lord, enter.
Thou think'st as much that this contentious storm invades us to the skin, so 'tis to thee. But where the greater malady is fixed, the lesser is scarce felt. Thou shun a bear, but if thy flight lay toward the roaring sea, thou didst meet the bear of the mount. When the mind's free, the body's delicate. A tempest in my mind doth from my senses take all feeling else, save the feet there. Filial ingratitude is not as this mouth should tear this hand for lifting food to it. But I will punish home. No, I will weep no more. In such a night to shut me out, for on I will endure. In such a night as this, oh Regan Goneril, your old kind father whose frank heart gave all. Oh, that way madness lies. Let me shun that. No more of that.
Good my lord, enter here.
Pray thee, go in thyself, seek thine own needs. This tempest will not give me leave to ponder on things that would hurt me more. But I'll go in, boy, go first. You houseless poverty, nay, get the end, I'll pray, and then I'll sleep. Poor naked wretches, wheresoe'er you are that bide the pelting of this pitiless storm. How shall your houseless heads and unfed sides, your looped and windowed raggedness defend you from seasons such as these? Oh, I have ta'en too little care of this. Take physic, pomp, expose thyself to feel what wretches feel, that thou mayst shake the superflux to them and show the heavens more just.
Fathom and a half, fathom and a half, poor Tom.
Come not in here, Nuncle. Here's a spirit. Help me. Help me.
Give me thy hand. Who's there?
A spirit. He says his name's Poor Tom.
What art thou that dost grumble there in the straw? Come forth.
Away the foul fiend follows me. Through the sharp hawthorn blows the cold wind. Go to thy cold bed and warm thee.
Didst thou give all to thy daughters, and art thou come to this?
Who gives anything to poor Tom, whom the foul fiend hath led through fire and through flame, through ford and whirlpool, or bog and quagmire, that hath laid knives under his pillow and halters in his pew, set ratsbane by his porridge, made him proud of the heart to ride upon a bay-trotting horse, over 4-inch bridges to course his own shadow for a traitor? Bless thy 5 wits. Tom's a cold. O do-de-do, dee-do-day. Bless thee from whirlwind, star blasting and taking. Do poor Tom some charity, whom the foul fiend vexes. There could I have him now, and there again, and there.
Has his daughters brought him to this pass? Couldst thou save nothing? Wouldst thou give them all?
Nay, he reserved a blanket, else we had all been shamed.
Now all the plagues that in the pendulous air have baited o'er man's false light on thy daughters.
He hath no daughters, sir.
Death, traitor! Nothing could have subdued many to such a lowness but his unkind daughter. Is it the fashion that discarded fathers should have thus little mercy on their flesh? Judicious punishment. 'Twas this flesh begot those pelican daughters.
Pillicock sat on Pillicock Hill, alo, alo, lulu.
This cold night will turn us all to fools and madmen.
Take heed of the foul fiend. Obey thy parents. Keep thy words justice. Swear not. Commit not with man's sworn spouse. And set not thy sweetheart on proud array. Tom's the cold.
What hast thou been?
A serving man, proud in heart and mind, that curled my hair, wore gloves in my cap, served the lust of my mistress's heart, and did the art of darkness with her, swore as many oaths as I spake words, and broke them in the sweet face of heaven. One that slept in the contriving of lust and waked to do it. Wine loved I deeply, dice dearly, and in woman out paramored the Turk. False of heart, light of ear, bloody of hand, hog and sloth, fox and whelp, wolf and greediness, dog and madness, lion and prey. Let not the creaking of shoes nor the rustling of silks betray thy poor heart to woman. Keep thy foot out of brothels, thy hand out of plackets, thy pen from lenders' books, and defy the foul fiend. Though through the hawthorn blows the cold wind, say sun, mun, nani. Dolphin, my boy, Sessa, let him trot by.
Thou wert better in a grave than to answer with thy uncovered body this extremity of the sky. Is man no more of this? Consider him well. Thou owest the worm no silk, the head no hide, the sheep no wool, the cat no perfume. Here's three on us sophisticated, but thou art the thing itself. An accommodated man is no more but such a poor, bare, forked animal as thou art. Off, you lendings, come, unbutton here.
Prithee, nuncle, be contented. 'Tis a naughty night to swim in. Now a little fire in a wild field were like an old lecher's heart, a small spark. All the rest on's body cold.
And to Gloucester with a torch.
Oh, look, here comes a walking fire.
This is the foul fiend Flibberty Gibbet. He begins at curfew and walks till the first cock. He gives web and the pin, squints the eye, and makes the harelip, mildews the white wheat, and hurts the poor creature of earth. Swift-footed twice the old, he met the nightmare and her hold. Bid her ride and her troth plight, and anoint thee, witch, anoint thee.
How fares your grace?
What's he?
Who's there? What is you seek?
What are you there? Your names?
Poor Tom, that eats the swimming frog, the toad, the tadpole, the walnut, and the water, that in the fury of his heart, when the foul fiend rages, eats cow dung for solids, swallows the old rat, and the ditch dog drinks the green mantle of the standing pool, who is whipped from tithing, and stalked, punished, and in prison, who hath had 3 suits to his back, 6 shirts to his body, horses to ride and weapon to wear, and mice and rats and such small deer, have been Tom's food for 7 long years.
What hath your grace? No better company?
The Prince of Darkness is a gentleman. Modo he's called, and Mahu.
Our flesh and blood, my lord, is grown so wild that it doth hate what gets it.
Poor Tom's a cold.
Go in with me, my duty cannot suffer to obey in all your daughters' hard commands. Though their injunction be, bar my doors, and let this tyrannous night take hold upon you. Yet have I ventured to come seek you out, and to bring you where both fire and food is ready. Lear,
Lear.
John?
Oh, I'm lost. Ready? What's the last? Ready? First, let me talk with this philosopher. Is that it? What is the cause of thunder?
Good my lord, take his offer. Go into the house.
I'll talk a word with this same learned Theban. What is your study?
How to prevent the fiend and to kill vermin.
Let me ask you one word in private.
Importune him once more to go, my lord. His wits begin to unsettle.
Canst thou blame him? His daughters seek his death. Ah, that good Kent. He said it would be thus. Poor banished man, thou sayest the king grows mad. I'll tell thee, friend, I am almost mad myself. I had a son, now outlawed from my blood. He sought my life, but lately, very late, I loved him, friend. No father is son dearer, true to tell thee. The grief hath crazed my wits. What a night is this, I do beseech your grace.
Oh, cry you mercy, sir. Noble philosopher, your company.
Tom's a cold.
And fellow there, into the hovel, keep thee warm.
Come, let's in all.
This way, my lord.
With him, I will keep still with my philosopher.
Good my lord, soothe him. Let him take the fellow.
Take him you on.
Sirrah, come on. Go along with us.
Come, good Athenian.
No words, hush.
Child Roland to the dark tower came. His word was still fie, foe, and bum. I smell the blood of a British man.
The exit. Scene 5, enter Cornwall and Edmund with paper. Mona, have you as
I
Cornwall?
have my revenge. I'm here. I have my revenge ere I depart his house.
How, my lord, I may be censored that nature thus gives way to loyalty. Something fears me to think of.
I now perceive it was not altogether your brother's evil disposition made him seek his death, but a provoking merit set awork by a reprovable badness in him.
How malicious is my fortune that I must repent to be just. This is the letter he spoke of, which approves him an intelligent party to the advantages of France. Oh heavens, that this treason were not I the detector.
Go with me to the Duchess.
If the matter of this paper be certain, you have mighty business in hand.
True or false, it had made thee Earl of Gloucester. Seek out where thy father is, that he may be ready for apprehension.
If I find him confronting the king, it will stuff his suspicion more fully. I will persevere in my course of loyalty, though the conflicts be sore between that and my blood.
I will lay trust upon thee, and thou shalt find a dearer father in thy love.
They exit. Scene 6, enter Kent in disguise and Gloucester. John, you're Gloucester in this scene. I'll take Gloucester, never mind. And Mona, you're Edgar again. Okay.
Okay.
Here is better than the open air. Take it thankfully, I will piece out the comfort with what addition I can. I will not be long from you.
All the power of his wits have given way to his impatience. The gods reward your kindness.
Master enter Lear, Edgar in disguise and fool.
Frater Netto calls me and tells me Nero is an angler in the lake of darkness. Pray innocent and beware the foul fiend.
Prithee, uncle, tell me whether a madman be a gentleman or a yeoman.
A king. A king?
No, he's a yeoman that has a gentleman to his son. For he's a mad yeoman that sees his son a gentleman before him.
To have 1,000 with red burning spits come hissing in upon them.
The foul fiend bites my back.
He's mad that trusts in the tameness of a wolf, a horse's health, a boy's love, or a whore's oath.
It shall be done. I will arraign them straight. Come, sit thou here, most learned justice. Thou, sapient sir, sit here. Now, you sheep boxes.
Look where he stands and glares. Wants thou eyes at trial, madam?
Come o'er the burn Bessie to me.
Thank
Out
you.
has a leak, and she must not speak. Why she dares not come over to thee.
The foul fiend haunts poor Tom in the voice of a nightingale. Hop and dance cries in Tom's belly for 2 white herring. Croak not, black angel. I have no food for thee.
How do you, sir? Stand you not so amazed. Will you lie down and rest upon the cushions?
I'll see their trial first. Bring in their evidence. Thou, robed justice, take thy place, and thou, his yoke fellow of equity, bench by his side. You are of the commission. Sit you too.
Let us deal justly. Sleepest or wakest, thou jolly shepherd? Thy sheep shall be in corn, and for 1 blast of thy minikin mouth, thy sheep shall take no harm. Purr, the crat is gray.
Arraign her first, his Goneril. I here take my oath before this honorable assembly. Kick the poor king, her father.
Come hither, mistress. Is your name Goneril?
She cannot deny it.
Cry you mercy, I give you for a joint stool.
And here's another whose warped looks proclaim what store her heart is made on. Stop her there! Arms, sword, fire, corruption in the place, false justicer. Why hast thou let her escape?
Bless thy 5 wits.
Oh, pity.
Sir, where is the patience now that thou so oft have boasted to retain?
My tears begin to take his part so much, they mar my counterfeiting.
The little dogs and all, blunt sweethearts, see, they bark at me.
Tom will throw his head at them. Avaunt, you curs! Be thy mouth or black or white, tooth that poisons if it bite. Ooh, there's more.
Yep.
Mastiff, greyhound, mongrel grim, hound or spaniel, brack or limb, bobtail, tyke or trundle tail. Tom will make them weep and wail, for with throwing thus my head, dogs leap the hatch and all are fled. Dode, Sessa, come march to wakes and fair the market towns. Poor Tom, thy horn is dry.
Then let them anatomize Regan, see what breeds about her heart. Is there any cause in nature that makes these hard hearts? You, sir, I entertain for 1 of my 100, only I do not like the fashion of your garments. You will say they are Persian, but let them be chaste.
Now, good my lord, lie here and rest a while.
Make no noise, make no noise. Draw the curtain. The soul will go to supper in the morning.
And I'll go to bed at noon.
And to Gloucester, come hither, friend. Where is the king, my master?
Here, sir, but trouble him not. His wits are gone.
Good friend, I prithee, take him by thy arms. I have overheard a plot of death upon him. There is a litter ready, lay in minutes, and drive towards Dover. Friend, here thou shalt meet both welcome and protection. Take up thy bastard. If thou shouldst dally half an hour, his life with thine and all that offer to defend him, stand in assured loss. Take up and follow me. That will to some provision give thee quick conduct.
Oppressed nature sleeps. This rest might yet have balmed thy broken senses, which if convenience will not allow, stand in hard cure. Come, help to bear thy master. Thou must not stay behind.
Come away.
When we are better see bearing our woes, we scarcely think our miseries our foes. Who alone suffers most in the mind, leaving free things, happy shows behind. But then the mind much sufferance does o'erskip, when grief had mates and bearing fellowship. How light and portable my pain seems now, when that which makes me bend makes the king bow. He chided as I fathered, Tom away. Mark the high noises, and thyself bewray when false opinion, whose wrong thoughts defile thee, and thy just proof repeals and reconciles thee. What will hap more tonight? Safe scape the king. Lurk.
And scene 7, enter Cornwall, Regan, Goneril, Edmund, and the bastard and servants.
Oh, speedily.
Sorry, 1 second. Celia, you're going to be Regan in this scene.
Regan, got it.
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead, John.
No, it's okay. Post speedily to my lord, your husband. Show him this letter. The army of France is landed. Seek out the traitor Gloucester.
Hang him instantly.
Pluck out his eyes.
Leave him to my displeasure. Edmund, keep you our sister company. The revengeance we are about to take upon your traitorous father are not fit for your beholding. Advise the Duke where you are going to a more festive preparation. We are bound to the like. Our post shall be swift and intelligent betwixt us. Farewell, dear sister. Farewell, my lord of Gloucester. How now, where's the king?
My lord of Gloucester hath conveyed him hence, some 5 or 6 and 30 of his knights. Hot Questrius after him, met him at a gate, who with some other of the lord's dependents are gone with him towards Dover, where they boast to have well-armed friends.
Get horses for your mistress.
Farewell, sweet lord and sister.
Edmund, farewell. Go seek the traitor Gloucester. Pinion him like a thief. Bring him before us. Though we may not pass upon his life without the form of justice, yet our power shall do a courts to our wrath, which men may blame but not control. Who's there? Who's there? The traitor?
Ingrateful fox, 'tis he.
Blind fast his corky arm.
What means your graces? Good my friends, consider, you are my guests. Do me no foul play, friends.
Bind him, I say.
Hard. Oh, filthy traitor.
Unmerciful lady as you are, I'm none.
To this chair bind him. Villain, thou shalt find.
By the kind gods, 'tis most ignobly done to pluck me by the beard.
So white and such a traitor?
Naughty lady, these hairs which thou dost ravage from my chin will quicken and accuse thee. I am your host. With robber's hands my hospitable favors you should not ruffle thus. What will you do?
Come, sir. What letters had you late from France?
Be simple answered, for we know the truth.
And what confederacy have you with the traitors lated footed in our kingdom?
To whose hands you have sent the lunatic king?
I have a letter guessingly set down, which came from one that's of neutral heart and not from one opposed.
Cunning,
And false.
where hast thou sent the king?
To Dover.
Wherefore to Dover? Wast thou not charged at peril?
Wherefore to Dover? Let him answer that.
I am tied to the stake and I must stand the course,
Wherefore to Dover?
because I would not see thy cruel nails pluck out his poor old eyes, nor thy fierce sister in his anointed flesh stick boorish fangs the sea with such a storm as his bare head. In hell black night endured would have buoyed up and quenched the steeled fires, yet poor old heart he hoped the heavens to rain. If wolves had at thy gate howled that stern time, thou shouldst have said, good porter, turn the key. All cruels else subscribe, but I shall see the winged vengeance overtake such children.
See it shalt thou never. Fellows, hold the chair. Upon these eyes I have thine now set my foot.
He that will think to live till he be old, give me some help. Oh, cruel you, go you gods!
One side will mock another, the other too.
If you see vengeance,
Nona,
Hold your hand, my lord. I have served you ever since I was a child, but better service have I never done you than now to bid you hold.
Oh, now, you dog.
If you did wear a beard upon your chin, I'd shake it on this quarrel. What do you mean?
my villain,
Nay, then come on and take the chance of anger.
Give me the sword. A peasant stand up thus?
Oh, I'm slain. My lord, you have one eye left to see some mischief on him. Oh,
let it see more. Prevent it. Out, vile jelly. Where is thy luster now?
oh, dark and comfortless, where's my son Edmund? Edmund, enkindle all the sparks of nature to quit this horrid act.
Out, treacherous villain, thou call'st on him that hates thee. It was he that made the overture of thy treason to us. Who is too good to pity thee?
Oh, my folly, then Edgar was abused. Kind gods forgive me that and prosper him.
Go, thrust him out at gates, and let him smell his way to Dover. How is it, my lord? How look you?
I have received a hurt. Follow me, lady. Turn out that eyeless villain, throw his slave upon the dunghill. Regan, I bleed apace. Untimely comes this hurt. Give me your arm.
I'll never care what wickedness I do if this man come to good.
If she live long and in the end meet the old course of death, women will all turn monsters.
Let's follow the old earl and get the bedlam to lead him where he would. His roguish madness allows itself to anything.
Go thou. I'll fetch some flax and whites of eggs to apply to his bleeding face. Now heaven help him.
They exit. And we'll take a 5-minute break.
Vincent,
You.
Vincent,
Yeah,
it
yes.
is 6 o'clock. I don't know where we will be, and I hesitate to keep going if I have to cut it short at 6:30.
Well, I've already taken for granted you're gone by 6:30, so do you not want to take a break?
Oh, no. Everybody can do what they want. I'm just trying to think. I think I have time to read Goneril in 4:2.
The only big scene, we should get by with the rest of the remaining readers except for the very final scene, which you're not going to be in anyway. So I'll leave it up to everybody. Do you want to take a break? Does anybody want to take a break? You don't have to take a break.
I'm okay with just continuing without a break. So
I'm okay. Anybody?
Me too.
Okay, we'll keep going then. Act 4, Scene 1. Enter Edgar in disguise. And that would be Mona. Again, I got to announce since we were Mona, you can be Edgar. I'll be Old Man. No, I'm Gloucester. Mark, can you?
I was originally given Old Man. Do you want me to do that? And then
Okay, yes. Thank you, John. Okay, so it's Mona, John, and me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Yet better death, and known to be condemned, than still condemned and flattered. Could be worse, the lowest and most dejected thing of fortune stands still in esperance, lives not in fear. The lamentable change is from the best. The worst returns to laughter. Welcome then, thou unsubstantial air that I embrace. The wretch that thou hast blown into the worst owes nothing to thy blast. But who comes here? My father, poorly led, world, oh world, but that thy strange mutations make us hate thee. Life must not yield to age.
Oh, my good Lord, I have been your tenant and your father's tenant these 80 years.
Away, get thee away, good friend, and be gone. Thy comforts can do me no good at all. Thee they may hurt.
You cannot see your way.
I have no way, and therefore want no eyes. I stumbled when I saw. Oft 'tis seen, our means secure us, and our mere defects prove our commodities. Dear son, and the fool of thy abused fathers, rout might I but live to see thee in my touch, I'd say I had eyes again.
How now? Who's there?
Oh God, who is it can say I am at the worst? I am worse than ever I was.
'Tis poor mad Tom.
And worse I may be yet. The worst is not so long as we can say this is the worst.
Fellow, where goest?
Is it a beggar man?
Madman and beggar too.
He has some reason, else he could not beg. And the last night's storm, I such a fellow saw, which made me think a man a worm. My son came then into my mind, and yet my mind and men scarce friends with him. I have heard more since, as flies to wanton boys are we to the gods. They kill us for their sport.
How should this be? Bad is the trade that must play fool to sorrow, angering itself and others. Bless thee, master.
Is that the naked fellow?
Aye, my lord.
Then prithee get thee away, for if my sake thou wilt overtake us hence a mile or twain to the way towards Dover, do it for ancient love, and bring some covering for this naked soul, which I'll entreat to lead me.
Alack, sir, he is mad.
'Tis the time's plague when madmen lead the blind. Do as I bid thee, or rather do thy pleasure. Above the rest be gone.
I'll bring him the best peril that I have. Come on, what will.
Sirrah, naked fellow.
And yet I must. Bless thy sweet eyes, they bleed.
Knowest thou the way to Dover?
Both stile and gate, horseway, and footpath. Poor Tom hath been scared out of his good wits. Bless thee, good man's son, from the foul fiend. 5 fiends have been in poor Tom at once, of lust, of Obidicut, of Hobididance, prince of dumbness, Mahu of stealing, Modo of murder, Liberty gibbet of mocking and mowing, whose sense possesses chambermaids and waiting women. So bless thee, master.
Here, take this purse, thou whom the heavens' plagues have humbled to all strokes, that I am wretched, makes thee the happier. Heavens deal so still, left the superfluous and lust dieted man, that slaves your ordinance, that will not see because he does not feel. Feel your power quickly. So distribution should undo excess, and each man have enough. Dost thou know, Dover?
Aye, master.
There is a cliff whose high and bending head looks fearfully on the confined deep. Beg me not to the very brim. Bring me but to the very brim of it. And I'll repair the mastery thou dost bear with something rich about me. From that place I shall no leading need.
Give me thine arm. Poor Tom shall lead thee.
They exit. Scene 3. No, scene 2. Goneril. Enter Goneril and Edmund the Bastard.
Welcome, my lord. I marvel our mild husband not met us on the way. Now, where's your master?
Madam within, but never man so changed. I told him of the army that was landed. He smiled at it. I told him you were coming. His answer was the worse. Of Gloucester's treachery and of the loyal service of his son, when I informed him, then he called me sot and told me I had turned the wrong side out. What most he should dislike seems pleasant to him, what like offensive.
Well, then shall you go no further. It is the cowish terror of his spirit that dares not undertake. He'll not feel wrongs which tie him to an answer. Our wishes on way may prove effects. Back, Edmund, to my brother. Hasten his musters and conduct his powers. I must change names at home and give the distaff into my husband's hands. This trusty servant shall pass between us ere long. You are like to hear, if you dare venture in your own behalf, a mistress's command. Wear this, spare speech. Incline your head. This kiss, if it durst speak, would stretch thy spirits up into the air. Conceive and fare thee well.
Yours in the ranks of death.
My most dear Gloucester. Oh, the difference of man and man. To thee, a woman's service our due. My fool usurps my body.
Madam, here comes my lord.
I have been worth the whistle.
O Goneril, you are not worth the dust which the rude wind blows in your face. I fear your disposition, that nature which condemns its origin cannot be bordered certain in itself. She that herself will sliver and disbranch from her material sap, perforce must wither and come to deadly use.
Oh, no more. This text is foolish.
Wisdom and goodness to the vile seem vile. Filth savor but themselves. What have you done? Tigers, not daughters. What have you performed? A father and a gracious aged man whose reverence even the head-lugged bear would lick? Most barbarous, most degenerate, have you madded? Could my good brothers suffer you to do it? A man, a prince, by him so benefited. If that the heavens do not their visible spirits send quickly down to tame these vile offenses, it will come. Humanity must perforce prey on itself, like monsters of the deep.
Ill-livered man, that bearest cheek for blows, a head wronged, who hast not in thy brows an eye discerning thy honor from thy suffering, that not knowest fools do those villains pity who are punished ere they have done their mischief. Where's thy God? France spreads his banners in our noiseless land, with plumed helm thy state begins to threat. Else thou, mortal fool, sit still and cries, alack, why does he so?
Be thyself, devil. Proper deformity shows not in the fiend, so horrid as in woman.
Oh, vain fool!
Change it and self-covering thing, for shame be monster, not thy feature. Worth thy fitness to let thy hands obey my blood, they are apt enough to dislocate and tear thy flesh and bones. However, thou art a fiend, a woman's shape doth shield thee.
Marry your manhood, you.
What news?
Oh, good my lord, the Duke of Cornwall's dead, slain by his servant, going to put out the other eye of Gloucester.
Gloucester's eyes.
A servant that he bred, thrilled with remorse, opposed against the act, bending his sword to his great master, who thereat enraged flew on him, and amongst them felled him dead, but not without the harmful stroke which seems to have plucked him after.
It shows you are above. You justicers, that these are nether crimes so speedily convenged. But oh, poor Gloucester, lost he the other eye?
Both, my lord. This letter, madam, craves a speedy answer. 'Tis from your sister.
One way I like this well. Being a widow and my Gloucester with her, may all the building in my fancy pluck on my hateful life. Another way, the news is not so tart, I'll read and answer.
Where was his son when they did take his eyes?
Come with my lady hither.
He is not here.
No, my good lord, I met him back again.
Knows he the wickedness?
I, my good lord, 'twas he informed him and quit the house on purpose, that their punishment may have the freer course.
Gloucester, I live to thank thee for the love thou didst show the king, and to revenge thine eyes. Come hither, friend. Tell me what more thou knowest.
They exit. Scene 5. Enter Kent in disguise and a gentleman.
Why the King of France is so suddenly gone back? Know you the reason?
Something he left imperfect in the state, which, since his coming forth is thought of, which imports to the kingdom so much fear and danger that his personal return was most required and necessary.
Who hath he left behind him, General?
The Marshal of France, Monsieur Lafall.
Did your letters pierce the Queen to any demonstration of grief?
Aye, sir, she took them, read them in my presence, and now and then an ample tear trills down her delicate cheek. It seemed she was a queen over her passion, who most rebel-like fought to be king o'er her.
Then it moved her.
Natural rage, patience and sorrow strove who should express her goodliest. You've seen sunshine and rain at once. Her smiles and tears were like a better way. Those happy smilets that played on her ripe lips seemed not to know what gifts were in her eyes, which parted thence as pearls from diamonds dropped. In brief, sorrow would be a rarity most beloved if all could so become it.
Made she no verbal question?
Faith, once or twice she heaved the name of father pantingly forth, as if it pressed her heart, cried, "Sisters, sisters, shame of ladies, sisters, Kent, father, sisters, what in the storm of night, let pity be believed." There she shook the holy water from her heavenly eyes, and clamor moistened. Then away she started to deal with grief alone.
It is the stars. The stars above us govern our conditions, else one's self-mate and mate could not beget such different issues. You spoke not with her since?
No,
Was this before the king returned?
no, since.
Well, sir, the poor distressed Lear is in the town. With some time in his better tune remembers what we are come about, and by no means will yield to see his daughter.
Why, good sir?
The sovereign shame so elbows him, his own unkindness that stripped her from his benediction turned her to foreign casualties, gave her dear rights to his dog-hearted daughters, whose things sting his mind so venomously that burning shame detains him from Cordelia.
Why, poor gentleman.
Of Albany's and Cornwall's powers you heard not?
'Tis so. They are afoot.
Well, sir, I'll bring you to our master Lear and leave you to attend him. Some dear cause will in concealment wrap me up a while. When I am known aright, you shall not grieve lending me this acquaintance. I pray you, go along with me.
They exit. Scene 4. Enter drum, colors, Cordelia, gentlemen, and soldiers.
Alack, 'tis he. Why, he was met even now as mad as the vexee, singing aloud, crowned with rank fumiter and furrow weeds, with hardocks, hemlock, nettles, cuckoo flowers, darnel, and all the idle weeds that grow in our sustaining corn, a century set forth. Search every acre in the high-grown field and bring him to our eye. What can man's wisdom in the restoring of his bereaved sense? He that helps him take all my outward worth.
There is means, madam. Our foster nurse of nature is repose, the which he lacks. That to broken him are many simples operative, whose power will close the eye of anguish.
All blessed secrets, all you unpublished virtues of the earth, spring with my tears. Be aidant and remediate in the good man's distress. Seek for him, lest his ungoverned rage dissolve the life that wants the means to lead it.
The British powers are. Go ahead, Mark.
News, madam, the British powers are marching hitherward.
'Tis known before. Our preparation stands in expectation of them. O dear Father, it is thy business that I go about. Therefore, great France, by mourning and importunate tears hath pitied no blown ambition doth our arms incite, but love, dear love in our aged father's right. Soon may I hear and see him.
They exit. Scene 5. Enter Regan and Oswald. Mona, could you read for Regan?
Oh, I'm sorry, I took.
But what are my brothers?
Sorry, Shelia.
I took Mark's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no,
Okay,
Shelley.
Shelia, go ahead, read Regan.
No, I'm saying I took Mark's doctor by
Yeah,
mistake.
it's fine. That's fine.
I'm going to leave. I just wanted to let
Yes,
you know.
yes.
Okay, you're leaving? Okay. Shelia, you're leaving? Okay. So, Mona, could you read Regan, please?
Okay. But are my brother's powers set forth?
Aye, madam.
Himself in prison there?
Madam, with such ado, your sister is the better soldier.
Lord Edmund spake not with your lord at home?
Oh, madam.
What might import my sister's letter to him?
I know not, lady.
Faith, he has posted hence on serious matter. It was great ignorance, Gloucester's eyes being out to let him live. Where he arrives, he moves all hearts against us. Edmund, I think, is gone, in pity of his misery, to dispatch his knighted life, moreover to descry the strength of the enemy.
I must needs after him, madam, with my letter.
Our troops set forth tomorrow. Stay with us, the ways are dangerous.
I may not, madam. My lady charged my duty in this business.
Why should she write to Edmund? Might not you transport her purposes by word? Belike some things I know not what. I'll love thee much. Let me unseal the letter.
Madam, I had rather.
I know your lady does not love her husband. I am sure of that at her late being here. She gave strange Iliads and most speaking looks to noble Edmund. I know you are of her bosom.
Aye, madam.
I speak in understanding you are. I know it. Therefore I do advise you take this note. My lord is dead. Edmund and I have talked, and more convenient is he for my hand than for your lady's. You may gather more. If you do find them, pray thee give him this, and when your mistress hears this much from you, I pray desire her, call her wisdom to her. So fare you well. If you do chance to hear of that blind traitor, preferment falls on him that cuts him off.
I would I could meet him, madam. I should know what party I do follow.
Fare thee well.
They exit. Scene 6. Okay, this is gonna. Don is Lear. Gentlemen, Oswald, Mona. Mark, can you read Edgar?
Sure.
And we'll see who gets to read Gloucester. I'll probably read Gloucester. Okay. I'll read Gloucester for now. When shall I come to the top of this that same hill?
You do climb up it now. Look how we labor.
Methinks the ground is even.
Horrible steep. Hark. You hear the sea?
No, truly.
Why then, your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish.
So may it be indeed. Methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speakest in better phrase and manner than thou didst.
You're much deceived. In nothing am I changed but in my garments.
Methinks you're better spoken.
Come on, sir. Here's the place. Stand still. How fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crows and coughs that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles. Halfway down hangs one that gathers sapphire, deadly trade. Methinks he seem no bigger than his head. The fishermen that walk upon the beach appear like mice, Yon tall anchoring bark diminished to her cock a buoy almost too small for sight, the murmuring surge that on the unnumbered idle pebble chafes cannot be heard so high. I'll look no more, lest my brain turn and the deficient sight topple down headlong.
Set me where you stand.
Give me your hand. You are now within a foot of the extreme verge. For all beneath the moon would I not leap outright.
Let go my hand, dear friend. 'Tis another purse. In it a jewel well worth a poor man's taking. Fairies and gods, prosper it with thee. Go thou further off. Bid me farewell and let me hear thee going.
Now fare you well, good sir.
With all my heart.
Why I do trifle thus with his despair is done to cure it.
Oh, mighty gods, this world I do renounce, and in your sight shake patiently with my great affliction off, to quarrel with your great opposeless wills, my snuff and loathed part of nature should burn itself out if Edgar live. Oh, bless him. Now, fellow, fare thee well.
Gone, sir, farewell. And yet I know not how conceit may rob the treasury of life when life itself yields to the theft. Had he been where he thought, by this had thought been past. Ho, you, sir, friend! Hear you, sir, speak! Thus might he pass indeed, yet he revives. What are you, sir?
Away, let me die.
Hadst thou been aught but gossamer feathers, air, so many fathom down precipitating, thou'dst shivered like an egg, but thou dost breathe, hast heavy substance, bleedst not, speak, start sound. 10 masts at each make not the altitude which thou hast perpendicularly fell. My life's a miracle. Speak yet again.
Am I fallen or not?
From the dread summit of this chalky bourne, look up a height. The shrill gorged lark so far cannot be seen or heard. So but look up.
Alack, I have no eyes. This wretchedness deprived me that benefits. To end itself by death, 'twas yet some comfort. When misery could beguile the tyrant's rage and frustrate his proud will.
Give me your arm. Up. So, how is it? Feel you your legs? You stand.
Too well. Too well.
This is above all strangeness. Upon the crown of the cliff, that what thing was that parted from you?
A poor unfortunate beggar.
As I stood here below, methought his eyes were 2 full moons. He had 1,000 noses, horns whelked and waved like the ingrated sea. It was some fiend. Therefore, thou happy father, think that the clearest gods who make them honors of men's impossibilities have preserved thee.
I do remember now. Henceforth I'll bear affliction till it's to cry out itself. Enough, enough, and die. That thing you speak of, I took for a man. Often 'twould say the fiend, he led me to that place.
Bear free and patient thoughts. But who comes here? A safer sense will ne'er accommodate his master thus.
No, they cannot touch me for coining. I am the king himself.
Oh, thou side-piercing sight.
Nature's above art in that respect. There's your press money. That fellow handles his bow like a crow-keeper. Draw me a clothier's yard. Look, a mouse. Peace. This piece of toasted cheese will do it. There's my gauntlet. I'll prove it on a giant Bring up the brown bills. Oh, well flown bird, easy cloud. Woo! Give the word.
Sweet marjoram.
Past.
I know that voice.
Goneril with a white beard. Thou flattered me like a dog and told me I had white hairs in my beard ere the black ones were there. To say aye and no to everything I said, aye and no to what was no good divinity. When the rain came to wet me what, and the wind to make me chatter, when the thunder would wind to make me chatter, then when thunder would not peace at my bidding, there I found him, there I smelt him out. Go to. They are not men, other words. They told me I was everything. 'Tis a lie. I am not ague-proof.
The trick of that voice I do well remember. 'Tis not the king.
I every inch a king. When I do stare, see how the subject waits. I pardon that man's life. What was thy cause? Adultery. Thou shalt not die. Die for adultery? No. The wren goes to it, and the small gilded fly does letter in my sight. Let copulation thrive, for Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters got queen the lawful sheep. To luxury, pell-mell, for I lack soldiers. Behold yon simpering dame, whose face between her forks presages snow, admits virtue and does shake the head to hear a pleasure's name. The fitchew nor the soiled horse goes to it with a more riotous appetite. Down from the waist they are centaurs, though women all above. But to the girl, to the gods inherit, beneath is all the pains. There's hell, there's darkness, there is the sulphurous pit, burning, scalding, stench conception. Fie, 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 pa. Give me an ounce of civet, good apothecary. Sweeten my imagination. There's money for thee.
Oh, let me kiss that hand.
Let me wipe it first. It smells of mortality.
Oh, ruined piece of nature, this great world shall so wear out to dot. Dost thou know me?
I remember thine eyes well enough. Dost thou squinny at me? No, do thy worst, blind Cupid, I'll not love. Read thou this challenge. Mark but the penning of it.
Were all thy letters sons, I could not see.
I would not take this from report. It is, and my heart breaks at it.
Read.
What with the case of eyes?
Oh, are you there with me? No eyes in your head, nor money in your purse? Your eyes are in a heavy case, your purse in a light, yet you see how the world goes.
I see it feelingly.
What? Art mad? A man may see how this world goes with no eyes. Look with thine ears. See how yon justice rails upon yon sympathy. Hearken thine ear. Change places with and handing dandy, which is the justice, which is the thief. Thou hast been a farmer's dog bark at a beggar?
Aye, sir.
And the creature run from the cur? There thou mightst behold the great image of authority. Dogs obeyed in office. Thou rascal beadle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that whore? Strip thine own back, that hotly thus to use her in that kind for which thou whipp'st her. The usurer hangs the cozener. Though tattered clothes, small vices do appear. Robes and furred gowns hide all. Plates thin with gold, and the strong lance of justice hurtless breaks. Armed in rags, a pygmy straw does pierce it. None does offend me, none, I say none, I'll able 'em. Take that of me, my friend, who have the power to seal the accuser's lips. Get thee glass eyes, and like a scurvy politician, seem to the things thou dost not, know things that dost not. Now, pull off my boots, harder, so.
Oh, matter and impertinency mixed, reason and madness.
If thou wilt weep my fortunes, take my eyes. I know thee well enough. Thy name is Gloucester. Thou must be patient. We came crying hither. Thou know'st the first time we smell the air, we wail and cry. I will preach to thee, Mark.
Alack the day.
When we are bored, we cry that we are come to this great state of fools. This a good block. It were a delicate stratagem to shoe a troop of horse with belt. I'll put it in proof, and when I have stolen upon these sons-in-laws, then kill.
Mr. Gentleman. Oh, here he is. Lay hand upon him, sir, your most dear daughter.
No rescue? What? A prisoner? I am even the natural fool of fortune. Use me well, you shall have ransom. Let me have surgeons, I am cut to the brain.
You shall have anything.
No seconds. All myself. Why, this would make a man of salt to use his eyes for garden water pots. Aye, and laying orders thus, I will drive bravely like a smug bridegroom. What? I will be jovial. Come, I am a king. Masters, know you that?
You are a royal one, and we obey you.
Then there's life in it. Come, and you get it by running. Saw.
A sight most pitiful. The meanest wretch, past speaking of in a king. Thou hast a daughter who redeems nature from the general course, which twain have brought her to.
Hail, gentle sir.
Sir, speed you. What's your will?
Do you hear aught, sir, of a battle toward?
Most sure and vulgar. Everyone hears that which can distinguish sound.
But by your favor, how near is the other army?
Near and unspeedy foot. The main descry stands on the hourly foot.
I thank you, sir. That is all.
Though that the queen on special course is here, her army is moved on.
I thank you, sir.
You ever gentle gods, take my breath from me. Let not my worser spirit tempt me again to die before the please.
Well, pray you, father.
Now, good sir, what are you?
A most poor man, made tame to fortune's blows, who by the art of known and feeling sorrows am pregnant to good pity. Give me your hand. I'll lead you to some biding.
Hearty thanks, the bounty and the benison of heaven. Boot and boot. Oswald.
A proclaimed prize. Most happy that eyeless head of mine was first framed flesh to raise my fortunes. Thou old and happy traitor, briefly thyself remember the sword is out that must destroy thee.
Now let thy friendly hand put strength enough to it.
Wherefore, bold peasant, dost thou support a published traitor? Hence, lest thy infection of his fortune take like hold on thee, let go his arm.
Chill not let go, sir, without further occasion.
Let go, slave, or thou diest.
Good gentlemen, go your gate, and let poor Volk pass. And should he been zwaggered out of my life, 'twould not have been so long as 'twas fortnight. Nay, come not near the old man. Keep out, cheer for ye, or as try without your custard to be my ballow the harder. Chill to plan with you.
Out dunghill.
Chill pick your teeth, sir. Come, no matter vor your foins.
Slave, thou hast slain me. Villain, take my purse. If ever thou wilt drive, bury my body, and give the letters which thou find'st about me to Edmund, Earl of Gloucester, seek him out upon the English party. O timely death, death.
Know thee well, O serviceable villain, as duteous to the vices of thy mistress as badness would desire.
What? Is he dead?
Sit you down, father. Rest you. Let's see these pockets. The letters that he speaks of may be my friends. He's dead. I am only sorry he had no other death's man. Let us see. Leave gentle wax and manners. Blame us not. To know our enemies' minds, we'd rip their hearts. Their papers is more lawful. Let our reciprocal vows be remembered. You have many opportunities to cut him off. If your will want not, time and place will be fruitfully offered. There is nothing done if you return the conqueror. That am I the prisoner, and his bed my goal. From the loathed warmth whereof deliver me, and supply the place for your labor. Your wife, so I would say, affectionate servant, Goneril. Oh, undistinguished space of woman's will, a plot for virtuous husband's life, in the exchange of my brother. Here in the sands the owl rake up, the post unsanctified of murderous lechers, and in the mature time with this ungracious paper strike the site of death practice, Duke. For him 'tis well that of thy death and business I can tell.
The king is bad. How stiff is my vile sense that I stand up and have ingenious feeling of my huge sorrows. Better I were distract. So should my thoughts be severed from my griefs and woes, why wrong imaginations lose the knowledge of themselves.
Give me your hand. Far off, methinks, I hear the beaten drum. Come, father, I'll bestow you with a friend.
They exit. Scene 7. Okay, I will be reading for the doctor and gentleman. Okay. Enter Cordelia, Kent in disguise, and gentleman.
O thou good Kent, how shall I live and work to match thy goodness? My life will be too short, and every measure fail me.
To be acknowledged, madam, is o'erpaid. All my reports go with a modest truth, nor more nor clipped, but so.
Be better suited. These weeds are memories of those worser hours. I prithee, put them off.
Pardon me, dear madam. Yet to be known shortens my made intent. My boon I make it, that you know me not, till time and I think meet.
Then be it so, my good lord. How does the king?
Madam, sleep still.
O ye kind God, cure this great breach in his abused nature, the untuned and jarring senses all wind up of this child-changed father.
So please your majesty that we may wake the king. We have slept long.
Be governed by your knowledge and proceed in the sway of your own will. Is he arrayed?
Aye, madam, in the heavens of sleep we put fresh garments on him. Be by, good madam, when we do awake him, I doubt not of his temperance.
Very well.
Please, draw near, louder the music there.
O my dear father, restoration hang thy medicine upon my lips. and let this kiss repair those violent harms that my two sisters have in thy reverence made.
Kind and dear princess.
Had you not been thee, father, these white flakes did challenge pity of them, was just a face to be opposed against the jarring winds, to stand against the deep dread bolt at thunder in the most terrible and nimble stroke of quick cross lightning, to watch poor Perdue with this thin helm, mine enemy's dog, though he had bit me, should have stood that night against my fire. And wast thou fain, poor father, to hobble thee with swine and rogues forlorn in short and musty straw? Alack, alack, 'tis wonder that thy life at wits' at once had not concluded all. He wakes. Speak to him.
Madam, you do fittest.
How does my royal lord? How fares your majesty?
You do me wrong to take me out of the grave. Thou art a soul in bliss, but I am bound upon a wheel of power that mine own tears do scald like molten lead.
Sir, do you know me?
You art a spirit, I know. Where did you die?
Still far wide.
Be scarce awake. Let him alone a while.
Where have I been? Where am I? Fair daylight, I am mightily abused. I should e'en die with pity to see another thus. I know not what to say. I will not swear these are my hands. Let's see, I feel this pinprick, but I were assured of my condition.
Oh, look upon me, sir, and hold your hand in benediction o'er me. Oh, no, sir, you must not kneel.
Pray do not mock. I am a very foolish fond old man, fourscore and upward, not an hour or less. And to deal plainly, I fear I am not in my perfect mind. Methinks I should know you and know this man. Yet I am doubtful, for I am mainly ignorant what place this is. And all the skill I have remembers not these garments, nor I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me, for as I am a man, I think this lady to be my child Cordelia.
And so I am. I am.
Be your tears wet. Yes, faith, I pray, weep not. If you have poison for me, I will drink. I know you do not love me, for your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause, they have not.
No cause. No cause.
Am I in France?
In your own kingdom, sir.
Do not abuse me.
Be comforted, good madam. The great rage you see is killed in him, and yet it is danger to make him even over the time he has lost. Desire him to go in. Trouble him no more, till further settling.
Will it please your highness walk?
You must bear with me. Pray you now, forget and forgive. I am old and foolish.
'Tis holds it true, sir, that the Duke of Cornwall was so slain.
Most certain, sir.
who is conductor of his people?
As 'tis said, the bastard son of Gloucester.
They say Edgar, his banished son, is with the Earl of Kent in Germany.
Report is changeable. 'Tis time to look about. The powers of the kingdom approach apace.
The arbitrament is like to be bloody. Fare you well, sir.
My point and period will be thoroughly wrought, or well or ill, as this day's battles fought.
It's Act 5, Scene 1. Okay. John, could you read Edgar?
Yes?
And Mona, could you read Regan, please?
Okay.
Know of the Duke of his last proposed hold, or whether since he is advised by aught to change the course, he is full of alteration and self-reproving. Bring his constant pleasure.
Our sister's man is certainly miscarried.
Tis to be doubted, madam.
Now, sweet lord, you know the goodness I intend upon you. Tell me but truly, but then speak the truth. Did you not love my sister?
In honored love.
But have you ever found my brother's way to the forfended place?
That thought abuses you.
I am doubtful that you've been conjunct and bosomed with her as far as we call hers.
No, mine honor, madam.
I never shall endure her. Dear my lord, be not familiar with her.
Give me not. She and the Duke, her husband. I'll be Goneril. I had rather lose the battle than that sister should loosen him and me.
Our very loving sister, well be met. Sir, this I hear, the king has come to his daughter with others whom the rigor of our state forced to cry out. Where I could not be honest, I never yet was valiant. For this business it touches us, as France invades our land. Not bolds the king with others whom I fear most just and heavy causes make oppose.
Sir, you speak nobly.
Why is this reasoned?
Combined together against the enemy, for these domestic and particular broils are not the question here.
Let's then determine it with the ancient of war on our proceedings.
I shall attend you presently at your tent.
Sister, will you go with us?
No.
'Tis most convenient. Pray, go with us.
Oh, I know the riddle. I will go.
If or your grace had speech with man so poor, hear me one word.
I'll overtake you. Speak.
Before you fight the battle, of this letter. If you have victory, let the trumpet sound for him that brought it. Wretched though I seem, I can produce a champion that will prove what is avouched there. If you miscarry, your business of the world hath so to end. Any machination ceases. Fortune love you.
Stay till I have read the letter.
I wish forbid it. When time shall serve, let but the herald cry, and I'll appear again.
Why, fare thee well. I will o'erlook thy paper.
The enemies in view, draw up your powers. Here is the guess of their true strength and forces by diligent recovery. But your haste is now urged on you.
We will greet the time.
To both these sisters I have sworn my love, each jealous of the other as the stung are of the adder. Which of them shall I take? Both, one, or neither? Neither can be enjoyed if both remain alive. To take the widow exasperates, makes mad her sister Goneril, and hardly shall I carry out my side. Her husband being alive, now
then we'll use his continence for the battle. Which being done, let her who would be rid of him advise his speedy taking off. As for the mercy which he intends to Lear and to Cordelia, the battle done, they within our power shall never see his pardon. For my state stands on me to defend, not to debate. He exits. Scene 2. John, could you read Edgar, please?
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. Alarm within, enter, and colors Lear, Cordelia's soldiers over the stage and exit, enter Edgar and Gloucester. And Mona, you're reading Gloucester.
Okay.
Here, Father, take thy shadow of this tree for your good hope. Pray the right may thrive. If ever I return to you again, I'll bring you comfort.
Grace go with you, sir.
Away, old man, give me thy hand, away. King Lear hath lost, he and his daughters ta'en. Give me thy hand, come on.
No further, sir. A man may rot even here.
What? In ill thoughts again. Men must endure their going hence, even as their coming hither. Rightness is all. Come on.
And that's true, too.
They exit. Scene 3. Okay, this is gonna be challenging. Okay. So, anybody who's not speaking and maybe there's a gap, just go in and just jump in, because there are a lot of lines in this and we don't have a lot of readers. Okay. I go first. Some officers take them away, good guard, until their greater pleasures first be known. There are two censored that are to censure them.
We are not the first who with best meeting have incurred the worst. For thee, oppressed king, I am cast down. Myself could else have frowned, false fortune's frowned. Shall we not see these daughters and these sisters?
No, no, no. Come, let's away to prison. We alone will sing like birds of the cage. When thou dost ask me blessing, I'll kneel down and ask of thee forgiveness. So we'll live and pray and sing and tell old tales and laugh as gilded butterflies and hear poor robes talk of court news, and we'll talk with them too. Who loses and who wins, who's in, who's out, and take upon the mystery of things as if we were God's spies, and will wear out in a walled prison packed and sex of great ones that ebb and flow by the moon.
Take them away.
For thy sacrifices, my Cordelia, the gods themselves throw incense. Have I caught thee? He that parts us shall bring a brand from heaven and fire us hence like foxes. Wipe thine eyes, the good year shall devour them, flesh and fell. Ere they shall make us weep, we'll see 'em starve first. Come.
Come hither, Captain, hark. Take thou the snows, go follow them to prison. One step I have advanced thee. If thou dost as this instructs thee, thou dost make thy way to noble fortunes. Know thou this, that men are as the time is, to be tender-minded does not become a sword. Thy great employment will not bear question. Either say thou is it do it, or thrive by other means.
I'll do it, my lord.
About it and right happy when the haste done. Mark, I say, instantly and carry it so as I have set it down.
I cannot draw a cart nor eat dried oats. If it be man's work, I'll do it.
Flourish, enter Albany, Goneril, Regan, soldiers, and the captain.
Sir, you have showed today your valiant strain, and fortune led you well. You have the captives who were the opposite of this day's strife. I do require them of you, so to use them, and we shall find the merits of our safety may equally determine.
Sir, I thought it fit to send the old and miserable king to some retention, and appoint guard whose age had charms in it, whose title more to pluck the common bosom on this side and turn our impressed lenses to our eyes, which do command them. With him I send the queen. My reason, all the same, and they are rarely tomorrow or at further peace appear. Where you shall hold your session at this time, we sweat and bleed. The fiend hath lost his friend. The friend hath lost his friend. And the best quarrels are in the heat are cruised by those that feed their sharpness. The question of Cordelia and her father requires a bitter place.
Sir, by your patience, I hold you but a subject of this war, not as a brother.
Noni, you want to jump in?
Are we at Regan?
Yes.
Okay. That's as we list to grace him. Methinks our pleasure might have been demanded ere he spoke so far. He led our powers, bore the commission of my place in person, the which immediacy may stand up and call itself your brother.
Oh, not so hot. In his own grace he doth exalt himself more than in your addition.
In my rights, by me invested, he compeers the best.
That were the most if he should husband you.
Jesters do prove prophets.
Hola, that eye that told you so looked but a squint.
Lady, I am not well, else I should answer. From a full flowing stomach, take thou my soldiers, prisoners, patrony, dispose of them, of me, the walls is thine. Witness the world that I create thee here, my lord and master.
Mean you to enjoy him?
The let alone lies not in your goodwill.
Nor in thine, lord.
Half-blooded fellow, yes.
Let the drum strike and prove my title thine.
Stay yet. Hear reason. Edmund, I arrest thee on capital treason, and in thine attaint this gilded servant. For your flaying your sister, I bar it in the interest of my wife. 'Tis she is supplanted to this lord, and I, her husband, contradict your banns. If you will marry, make your loves to me. My lady is bespoke.
An interlude.
Thou art armed, Gloucester. Let the trumpet sound. If none appear to prove upon the person thy heinous manifest and many treasons, there is my pledge. I'll make it on thy heart ere I taste red. Thou art in nothing less than I have proclaimed thee.
Oh, sick.
If not, I'll ne'er trust medicine. There's my exchange. What in the world is he that names me traitor, villain like he likes? Call by the trumpets that he that dares approach. On him, on you. Who not, I will maintain my truth and honor firmly.
A herald, ho!
A herald? Oh ho, a herald.
Trust to thy single virtue, for my soldiers all levied in my name have in my name took their discharge.
My sickness grows upon me.
She is not well. Convey her to my tent. Come hither, herald. Let the trumpet sound and read out this.
Sound trumpet.
If any man of quality or degree within the lists of the army will maintain upon Edmund, supposed Earl of Gloucester, that he is manifold traitor, Let him appear by the third sound of the trumpet. He is bold in his defense. Again. Again.
Ask him his purposes, why he appears upon this call of the trumpet.
What are you? Your name, your quality, and why you answer this present summons. Mona, could you read Edgar, please?
Yes. No, my name is lost. By treason's truth, bare gnawn and canker bit. Yet am I noble as the adversary I come to cope.
Which is that adversary?
What's he that speaks for Edmund, Earl of Gloucester?
Himself, what sayest thou to him?
Draw thy sword, and if thy speech offend a noble heart, thine arm may do thee justice. Here is mine. Behold, it is my privilege, the privilege of mine honors, my oath, and my profession. I protest, Moog, thy strength, place, youth, and eminence. Despite thy victor sword and fire new fortune, thy valor and thy heart, thou art a traitor, false to thy gods, thy brother, and thy father, conspirate against this high illustrious prince, and from the extremest upward of thy head to the descent, and thus below thy foot the most toad-spotted traitor. Say thou no. This sword, this arm, and my best spirits are bent to prove upon thy heart whereto I speak, thou liest.
In wisdom I should ask thy name, but since thy outside looks so fair and warlike, and that my tongue some say of greeting breathes, what safe and nicely I might delay by rule of knighthood, I disdain and spurn. Back do I toss these treasons to thy head, with the hell-hated lie, O well thy heart, which for they yet glance by and scarcely bruise. This sword of mine, shall give them instant sway, where they shall rest forever. Trumpets, speak!
Save him, save him.
This is practice, Gloucester. By the law of war, thou wast not bound to answer an unknown opposite. Thou art not vanquished, but cozened and beguiled.
Shut thou mouth, dame, or with this paper shall I stop of it. Hold, sir, thou worse than any name read thine own evil. No, cheering lady, I perceive you know it.
Say if I do, the laws are mine, not thine. Who can arraign me for it?
Most monstrous, oh, knowst thou this paper?
Ask me not what I know.
Go after her, she's desperate. Govern her.
What you have charged me with, that have I done, and more, much more, this time will bring out. 'Tis past, and so am I. But what art thou that hast this fortune of me? If thou art noble, I do forgive thee. Rona?
Let's exchange charity. I am no less in blood than thou art, Edmund. If more, the more thou hast wrung me. My name is Edward, and thy father's son. The gods are just, and of our pleasant vices make instruments to plague us. The dark and vicious place where thee he got cost him his eyes.
Hast spoken right, 'tis true. The wheel is come full circle, I am here.
The thought thy very gate did prophecy of royal nobleness, I must embrace thee. Let sorrow split my heart if ever I did hate thee or thy father.
Worthy prince, I know it.
Where have you hid yourself? Have you known the miseries of your father?
By nursing them, my lord, list a brief tale, and when 'tis told, oh, that my heart would burst. The bloody proclamation to escape that followed me so near. Oh, our lives' sweetness that we the pain of death would hourly die rather than die at once, taught me to shift into a madman's rags, to assume the semblance that very dogs disdain. And in this habit met I my father with his bleeding rings. Their precious stones, new lost, became his guide. Led him, begged for him, saved him from despair. Never, O fault, revealed myself unto him until some half hour passed when I was armed. Not sure, though. Hoping of this good success, I asked his blessing, and from first to last told him our pilgrimage. But his flawed heart, alas, too weak the conflict to support, twixt two extremes of passion, joy, and grief, burst smilingly.
The speech of yours hath moved me, and shall perchance do good. But speak you on. You look as though you had something more to say.
If there be more woeful, hold it in, for I am already ready to dissolve hearing of this.
This would have seemed a period to such as love not sorrow, but another to amplify too much would make much more and top extremity. Whilst I was big and clamor, came there in a man who, having seen me in my worstest state, shunned my abhorred society, but then finding who 'twas that so endured, with his strong arms he fastened on my neck and bellowed out as he'd burst heaven through him on my father, told the most piteous tale of Lear and him that ever ear received, which in recounting his grief grew puissant, and the strings of life began to crack. Twice, when the trumpet sounded, and there I left him, tranced.
But who was this?
Cancer, the banished Kent, who in disguise followed his enemy king, and did him service improper for a slave.
Help! Help! Oh, help!
What kind of help?
Speak, man.
What means this bloody knife?
'Tis hot, it smokes, it came even from the start. Oh, she's dead.
Who's dead? Speak, man.
Your lady, sir. Your lady and her sister, by her is poisoned. Poisoned. She confessed it. I was contracted to both of them. All three. Now married and Vincent.
Here comes Kent.
Produce the bodies, be they alive or dead. This judgment of the heavens that makes us tremble touches me not with pity. Oh, is this he? The time will not allow the compliment which very manner she urges.
I am come to bid my king and master I good night. Is he not here?
Great thing of us forgot. Speak, Edmund, where's the king? And where's Cordelia? See thou this object, Kent?
Alack, why thus?
But Edmund was beloved. The one, the other poisoned for my sake, and after slew herself.
Even so, cover their faces.
I pant for life. Some good I mean to do, despite of mine own nature. Quickly send, be brief in it. The castle for my writ is of the life of Lear and on Cordelia. Nay, send in time.
Run, run, oh run.
To who, my lord? Who has the office? Send thy token of reprieve.
Well thought on. Take my sword, give it to the captain.
Haste thee for thy life.
He hath commissioned from thy wife and me to hang Cordelia in prison, and to lay the blame upon her own despair, that she forbid herself.
the gods defend her. Bear him hence a while.
Enter Lear and Cordelia in his arms, followed by gentlemen.
How, oh, are you men of stones? Had I your tongues and I'd use them that heaven's vault should crack. She's gone forever. I know when one is dead and when one lives. She's dead as earth. Lend me a looking glass, if that her breath will mist or stain the stone, why then she lives.
Is this the promised end?
Oh, image of that horror.
Fall and cease.
This feather stirs, she lives. If it be so, it is a chance which does redeem all sorrows that ever I have felt.
Oh, my good master.
Pray thee away.
'Tis noble Kent, your friend.
The plague upon you, murderers, traitors all. I might have saved her. Now she's gone forever. Cordelia, Cordelia, stay a little. Oh, what is't thou sayest? Her voice was ever soft, gentle, and low, an excellent thing in woman.
'Tis true, my lord.
I killed the slave that I was a hanging thee.
'Tis true, my lords, he did.
Did I not, fellow? I have seen the day with my good biting falchion. I would have made him skip. I am old now, but these same crosses spoil me. Who are you? Mine eyes are not of the best, I'll tell you straight.
Fortune brags of two she loved and hated. One of them we behold.
This is a dull sight. Are you not Kent?
The same. Your servant Kent. Where is your servant Caius?
He's a good fellow. I can tell you that. He'll strike and quickly too. He's dead and rotten.
No, my good lord. I am the very man
I'll see that straight.
that from your first of difference and decay have followed your sad steps.
You are welcome hither.
Oh, no man else. All's cheerless, dark, and deadly. Your eldest daughters have fordone themselves and desperately are dead.
Aye, so I think.
He knows what he says, and vain is it that we present us to him.
Very bootless.
Edmund is dead, my lord.
But that's but a trifle here. You lords and noble friends know our intents. What comfort to this great decay may come shall be applied. For us, we will resign during the life of this old majesty. To him, our absolute power. You to your rights, with boot and such addition as your honors, have more than merited. All friends shall taste the wages of their virtue, and all foes the cup of their deservings. Oh, see, see!
And my poor fool is hanged. No, life. Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life and thou no breath at all? Thou'lt come no more. Never, 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 never. Pray you undo this button. Thank you, sir. Do you see this? Look on her, look, her lips. Look there, look there.
He faints. My lord. My lord.
Break, heart. I prithee break.
Look up, my lord.
Vex not his ghost, or let him pass. He hates him much that would upon the rack of this tough world stretch him out longer.
He is gone indeed.
The wonder is he hath endured so long, yet usurped his life.
Bear them from hence. Our present business is general woe. Friends of my soul, you twain, rule in this realm, and the gored state sustain.
I have a journey, sir, shortly to go. My master calls me. I must not say no.
The weight of this sad time we must obey. Speak what we feel, not what we ought to say. The oldest hath borne most, we that are young shall never see so much, nor live so long.
Excellent. Exeunt.
Yay, thank you for arranging this, Vince.
Thank you, everybody.
Yay.
I noticed, Mark, you're fanning yourself. I guess it's just as hot in California as it is over here.
I'm sure it's probably not as hot, but
Oh,
I have a harder time. At least
it's about 80 degrees in the shade.
yeah.
Is it humid? Is it humid where you are?
I have to be in the bedroom because this is the only room in the house that has an AC. So and even with it, it's
No, that was to Vincent because I'm in California, so I know what it is here.
No, I don't have AC. I just have this big fan. So John, where are you coming from, by the way? So,
I'm in San Diego.
oh, so I did it. I got 3 Californians
So
here.
3 of us in California. John, thank you for your lyric. That was good.